Hey, konnichiwa, minasan. This is Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House home in Japan. How are you doing? Are you good? Are you Genki? Have you missed me? Am I a robot? Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. That's all I'm going to say. Today we have a kind of normie reaction, initial impressions, kind of review of the first episode of One Piece, the Netflix live adaptation. Oh my god, it seems to be dividing the fan base. People either really like it or kind of like it, or just say, no, this is terrible. It's not exactly the same as the manga or the anime. But my approach is to see it as its own thing. And before I get too deeply into a wakizashi waffle, I do have somebody to talk about it with me who maybe knows a bit more about One Piece than me. Let's bring him in. No, it isn't Brandon, the anime guy. It is Angry Canadian.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you coming on, mate. I know how busy you are on Saturdays. In Japan, it's Saturday here because don't forget, we are in the future, everybody out there. But yeah, I appreciate it, mate. So, a little bit of background. You were telling me before we went live, you've watched some of the anime, the episodes, and of One Piece, but haven't read the manga yet. Is that right?
Yeah, so I think it was about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I watched up to like episode 50, 60-ish, which isn't really a dent in like the series as a whole, but I've seen pretty much where this show is going, this live action show. I've seen past that. So it's cool to kind of revisit some of those old scenes I remember seeing in the anime, and then they kind of recreate it in the show. And yeah, I haven't touched the manga yet. I do want to read it because I've heard it's a pretty good, it's a pretty fun read. So hopefully one of these days I'll start it.
I'm the same. I've watched the first few episodes of the anime. I've read, I think, the first 10 chapters of the manga, and it's fun. It's goofy fun. It is what it is. I'm not a huge fan, but I've heard that if you do stick with it, it gets better and better. You get more involved with the characters. So I just want to let people know, I'm a real normie about this. I'm not a huge fan, so I've gone in like to see how it is, give it a chance, yeah, and see if it's as bad as Cowboy Bebop, the adaptation, yeah, not the anime I'm talking about. Did you see that, by the way, Angry? Did you ever see that?
No, I never got a chance to see the live action because the well, what turned me away first was the actress was like kind of going after the fans
Oh
because they were
God, yeah.
complaining about her like body type and how she appeared in the show. And so as soon as I saw her attacking the fans, I was like, well, I'm not gonna watch your show then because clearly it's like you don't want people to watch this. So yeah, I never really got around to watching it, and I don't think I ever will.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to, to sell a new show before it even debuts is to like have a go at all the fans. Well, most of the fans, ridiculous. But anyway, won't talk about that here. Just let me shout out in the chat because it's been a while. Have you missed me out there? Come on, you've missed me out. Yeah, we had great time with my daughter back from Kyoto, so it meant that we couldn't stream. Well, I couldn't stream for a bit. This is not my private YouTube studio, by the way. This is like the kitchen's there. This is the kind of dining room. The living room's over there. So there we go. It's a rare Saturday off for Gray. So yeah, we have in the chat, Angry. We've got Stephen Ransom. Great to see him. He was. I saw a great photo of him by the way on Twitter, looking sexy. Stephen, looking genki.
Yes, indeed.
Not Nosferatu's here, 2 minutes late. What a disgusting gaijin. That's me. We got Dwayne as well. Dwayne over in the States, as far as I know. 13 hours in the past. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Jane is here. Jane, I hope you're good. I hope you're genki. And let's just make sure I've not missed anybody. What's up, chat? Says AC. There we go. And earlier on, we had a super chat from your Barmy who said he couldn't make it, Angry. Look at this. A Saturday drink for Gray. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate it. So speaking of drinks, there can only be one clip to play, can't there? Where is it? Can you find it in time? Here it goes.
You're drunk. Just bring out the cake. Cake and fine wine.
If you don't leave, we'll call the police.
Balls. We want the finest wines available to humanity. We want them here, and we want them now.
Miss Blenner has it. Telephone the police.
I wish I had the
Oh
finest wines
boy.
available to
Yeah,
humanity, Angry, right now. It might help me with
yeah.
the stream. Okay, we got Copa as well. CopaExMachina in the chat. Are you still doing your Shikodachi? I hope so, mate. I've been a bit slack recently. I blame it on daughter being back, and having to entertain her. But anyway, where are we going? He's having to go up my eyebrows now.
That's
So,
great.
Angry, before we get too derailed, let's try and keep focused on this show. So, of course, it is One Piece, the 2023 Netflix boo adaptation. Only episode 1 today. We're going to talk about the first episode. It dropped on the 31st of August, so it is brand new. According to Wikipedia, it's saying it's received generally positive reviews from critics and fans alike. But I think they always say that, don't they, in the beginning?
Yes.
They've
They always
praised the
sell it.
performances, they praised the story and the visual effects and the general faithfulness towards characters and events. I know, don't kill me in the chat, don't kill me, don't forget, I'm not a huge One Piece expert. Sorry, Angry, so what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, the critics will usually because they get to see it a little bit earlier, I think, and they'll be able to give the reviews out a lot quicker. But
Yeah,
honestly, I've seen kind of the opposite. The fans seem to like it, like the casual fans to maybe hardcore fans, but then some of the critics are the ones that have been kind of like not giving it glowing reviews. One of them in particular is like IGN. They do like video game stuff. Arguably,
yeah,
they do video game stuff, and I guess they've rated Cowboy Bebop higher than this show.
I
And
saw that. I'm glad you
yeah,
caught that. Yeah, I had a look at the review because I saw it. I usually check Metacritic, which kind of pulls them all together and just gives you a quick look. So I was surprised. And the comments on that review, as you say, I mean, IGN is, whatever. I don't hold much faith in it. But the comments were saying, are you guys crazy? You gave Cowboy Bebop, the live adaptation, 7 out of 10. Are you giving this 6? It's much better. But on that note, Angry, let's get your initial thoughts on episode 1.
yeah. So I actually watched it this morning, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is crazy!" Like how it hooked me in right away. Like at least that first scene, because the first scene that's shown
Mm,
with the execution of I can't remember his name now, but the pirate lord, he that's always shown as like an intro in the anime. Like every for like the first actually I think it's probably for many, many episodes, you always see that as an intro, like this, but it's much shorter. And he's like talking about, hey, if you wanna be the best, go find my treasure. But this was actually like full on acted out and everything. So I thought it was actually really cool to see this. And we got to see some characters in the crowd too. If you were watching, there was some
mm.
interesting characters in the crowd. And yeah, this whole scene was really cool. I like this opening.
It was a good opening. This surprised me because it looked good. Yeah, of course, you can argue the CG when you see in the crowd scenes, but he looks great. Again, I'm the same. I'm going to have to look on these show notes, but I don't know his name. It's something like, oh my God, where are we? Someone help me in the chat. But anyway, never mind his name. He does a good performance and it's
Gold
violent.
Roger. I think it's
There
Gold
you
Roger.
go.
Sorry.
Goldie Roger, yeah. Nice one. Were you surprised by the kind of you don't see that much, but there's quite a few violent scenes in this episode, aren't there? You see quite
Oh my
some great
goodness.
action scenes.
I was not expecting how gory, I guess you could say. It was
Yeah,
or graphic. Like, because, I mean, this is from an anime. So, and I know the anime, they can get away with it, but I was like really surprised to see, like, later on, we'll see it, like, some of these people, how they die and stuff. It was pretty funny.
we've got a
Made me
question
laugh,
from
actually.
Stephen. Angry, here we go. He said he's asking both of us really. You've watched the anime of this kind, this style. Is the live action goofy? That's a good question, and goofy's a good word. What do you reckon?
Um, It depends on if you're saying like it goofy in a good way or in a bad way. I would
Mm,
say like goofy as in like Luffy is a goofy character to begin with.
he
And
is.
so but they translated really well in the show. Um but as far as like the other elements, I don't think other aspects other than Luffy is goofy, and I think it fits well. It isn't. I mean, like we were just talking about how people are like getting decapitated, and so the show isn't really gonna be. It still takes itself pretty seriously, but I think Luffy's like really the only goofy aspect of the show, but that's just his character.
Absolutely. No, that's a good summation. He is. I mean, how can you put this on screen without it, looking a bit bonkers, a bit daft, a bit silly? His powers involve being able to stretch his body parts. He can rebound bullets. He's basically rubbery, isn't he? He's what is it? I'm stretchy. That's one of the lines he keeps saying. So you can't take that seriously. But I think they approached it pretty well because, as you say, they've not gone full on goofy. They've gone for a little bit of seriousness at times as well, especially, as I say, with the fighting scenes, which I've really enjoyed, especially later
Yes.
on when you see Zorro with his 3
Yes.
swords. Oh my God, Sonny Chiba's son, by the way. Wow.
Yeah, so with Luffy, like they established his character right off the bat, like he is just a childish, person. And so
Mm.
he does things childishly, he acts childishly, he thinks childishly. So like it doesn't bother me like how goofy he acts because that's just who he is. It would have been weird then if like a random character who isn't goofy acts goofy. Like that would be kind of odd, but no, I think they really they portray it well.
I do too. Yeah, there's a couple of good comments here. You got Steven asking, does the action take you out of the world? Do they sell the reality? And then Nosferatu's
Oh,
replying with, wouldn't that take away from the actual source material? Because, as I say, you can't take it seriously, can you? It's One Piece.
let's see. So when it comes to selling the action, I think they sell it really well, especially with the fight, the really good fight at the end of the first episode, I think it was.
Yeah,
The Marine base, like
me
the
too.
choreography was like really cool and how they did it, everything. And then like yeah, with Luffy and his like magical powers because he has these like special powers. Um it they somehow were able to do the CGI pretty clean for that. It doesn't look too goofy, so
Just laughing, sorry about that. Brutal killings are funny, AC. But no, I get what you're saying. Look, yeah, I'll answer as well, Stephen. That's one of the biggest surprises to me is the way they've choreographed the action scenes. The people, the actors, they look like they're fighting. You can't see any change. It's like, oh, there's a stunt man or a stunt woman. It's obvious. It looks like they've been trained. I mean, especially Sonny Chiba's son, plays Zoro. He's brilliant. But I mean, Luffy's like goofy. I love that rhyme as well. Luffy is goofy. He stretches. He does the Mr. Fantastic, Miss Marvel punch, which is always going to look daft, isn't it, on a big screen, I think.
yes.
Just laughing at that. So let me get that comment down. Nosferatu, oh my God, how much I love you, man. You're crazy. Let's see what he's saying. AC comes across as a sweetheart, but as he butchers Japanese skills in a rice field, he says, oh God.
You're an animal, Nas. You're an absolute animal.
Oh God. Oh my God, I need a clip for that. Where is it? This is actually, this is me on the left and AC on the right. Here we go. I was disappointed, AC. You didn't fall for me flamethrower hidden in the sleeve trick.
So one thing I do want to mention, and I think maybe Steven would like this, is I really am impressed with the set design. The
Yes.
costumes and the set design is actually very impressive for like this kind of strange world that the One Piece world is. And it looks it looks real, it looks breathing, like it has life to it. And yeah, like the ships here, oh my goodness. Like it's kind of the entire time I'm watching it, I'm thinking of like the fun and the craziness of like Pirates of the Caribbean, but like
Yeah.
more goofy in a sense, like there's more like crazy designs of like people's costumes and ships and stuff. So they did really good with the sets and the props and the costumes.
It's a good point. And I say I've only taken shots from the first episode. This is not the best example, but it's a practical set. They've built these big sets. They've built a lot of different boat sets. You see the sea, it looks real. It's not all CG'd, which I really, really appreciated. That's a good point. This character, I wasn't a big fan when I first saw her, but when I looked back at the manga, it's not bad. They've got the look pretty well, and she was pretty serious. She's got this crazy club, hasn't she, AC? It's got spikes
Yes.
on it, but it's like in the shape of is it a bird's head or something? And she takes people out with that.
Yeah, that was surprising. Like when she hit the one guy, and then like the next thing you see blood on the floor, and then like the kid has to like mop it up. I was like, oh, so this is where the show is gonna go, with a little
Yeah.
bit more gore, or not gore, but like violence to it.
You kind of see the after effects, don't you? The violence. You don't see, that much. Of course, they're not going to show it. I had the impression it's a family centric, or it's a family, what do you call it, centered show, not a kids show, really. What would you say? Maybe teenage, YA, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is definitely for an older audience. I don't.
It's
It's
hard.
not, but that's weird because Demon Slayer was targeted for more older people, but like little kids are in love with it. And there's like some crazy like, decapitation in the anime and whatnot. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I think for a little bit older audience, I would say.
It's good to see you, by the way, MVP-ness. Great to see you, mate. You found the performances stiff. I know what you mean. Stephen, it should be full of poses and gestures, animated like a musical. Interesting. They've gone, like I say, it's kind of going for its own thing, as well as also it feels at times, they're showing certain scenes, of course, from the anime and from the manga. They've got some classic lines. They've got things that you've got to see. You kind of feel like they have to be in there, don't they, Angry? Where are we? Zacks is saying Sonny Chiba's son plays Zorro. Don't let Paulie find out. Well, he's good. I don't know about his acting, AC. His acting's a bit stiff, but his fight scenes are awesome.
So like, it is a tad stiff, but like that is kind of Zoro's character to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Like he does, like in the anime, he does like react a little bit more comically to like Luffy if Luffy does something stupid or if Nami does something interesting.
Right.
But I actually like his acting in the show because he is supposed to be like, a badass because he's been trained and he's very smart and his sword skills. So I like it. I think he does it pretty well in this so far.
Me too. This scene, by the way, this is quite early on where you see he's introduced, and this caught me straight away. When I saw those three katana handles, I was like, mate, you've got me, you've got me.
Yes, yes.
We see him strike a pose, and then, as you were saying, here's a little example of the gruesomeness of it, where they don't hold back. You see him cut somebody in half. Seriously,
Yeah.
it's like boom.
And that pose is like the frame you showed is not correct, but when he has his arms all the way down to his waist and it's like the katanas are sticking out, he does that pose a lot in the anime. And so I was
Yeah,
seeing that like his pose, some of the other characters' posture as well is like taken from the anime. So I think that's pretty good in my opinion.
yeah, cool. So good to see him. But as you say, yeah, he's a little bit too stoic. Is that the word they like to use? But maybe, as you say, maybe that's a character. What did you think of Shanks we see here?
He plays pretty one-to-one to the anime. I mean, he's this kind of like strong guy, but you don't know he's strong right off the bat, and he's got like this
Mm,
loyal crew with him, but he's
yeah,
very friendly towards Luffy as a kid, and then he's like the typical like non-adopted father, like teaching this kid like the walk of life when it comes to dealing with people. And like
yeah,
we see in a later episode about how he kind of like gets disrespected by another pirate, and then like later on that guy will eventually pay for it. But Luffy sees all of this and he's trying to teach him like you can't fight everything with violence. So it's kind of interesting establishing this kind of like good pirate, even though that's kind of like a weird thing to say. But
mm,
the actor himself, I think he does a really good job. I mean, he knocks it out of the park. I actually like this character a lot in the show right now. But
me
I don't
too.
think he's gonna make a lot of appearances because I don't think he was
Mm,
around a lot in this first arc that they're talking about or they're gonna do.
that's right. I was saying that I had a stroke just now. It's pronounced stoic. Yeah, going back to this, to the guy playing Shanks, I like him too. He's one of the guys who stood out. One of the actors, the performances, he surprised me. Again, I say I don't remember. I read the manga a long time ago. The first say 10 chapters. I don't remember that much about it, but he was good. I liked him. He got the kind of lovable rogue style, but you can tell he's a good man. He's got a good heart. And Angry, speaking of heart, this is a big thing about this first episode and what I've heard about the series. There's a lot of heart in this. There's a lot of like feeling good about this show. It's like the people are having a good time. They're enjoying themselves, aren't they? I think playing the parts, most of them.
Yeah, I think now that you mention it, it makes a lot of sense because when I watched the first episode, I was like so invested into it, and I could feel. I think you can see the chemistry between the actors. You can definitely see that they're giving it their best,
Yeah,
and they're acting accordingly. So clearly, they were given the correct notes on how to portray their anime slash manga characters. So it's, I think you're right. There is a lot of heart, at least in the first episode. I felt it.
that's what I found from from Monkey D. Luffy. Let me just double check because I'm saying being lazy. Let me just get the name. Is it Iñaki Godoy who plays Monkey D. Luffy? I think he's a Mexican young actor. Yeah, he's goofy, he's silly, but he looks it looks like he's having a good time. He looks like he's having fun. He's
Oh
smiling a lot.
yeah.
He's got this, and that's from the source, isn't it? That's what the character is. He's always thinking about his next meal, or he's just having. I want to be the king of the pirates. That's it. Isn't
Yes.
it great being a pirate?
It's that childish wonder, right? Of like, I want to
Yes.
explore the world, and he knows he has this power to do so, but he doesn't have like the brain to do it, so he needs like the right people to help him along.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good point. Difficult question from Zacks. He's asking the real deep ones here. If everyone's a pirate, is anyone a pirate? Discuss.
I'm trying to understand this.
I need to go and ask my Zen master, Nosferatu. Well, how would you answer that question? Nos. There we go. So yeah, let's get back to some of the photos. So I do like him. I like the guy, but he's not in it that much. But I do like the flashbacks as well. Angry where we go back and we see young Luffy. And later on we see him eating this for the first time. So please tell the people out there what this is. This crazy fruit.
Yeah, so in the world of One Piece, there's these fruits, and like I said, I'm not a big expert, but I know that there's these fruits called devil fruits, and they give a wide variety of powers. So once you eat them, you gain the power of whatever that specific fruit is, because there's like, I think there is a limited amount of them, and they have
Mm,
specific names. Um, this is based off of only watching like 60 episodes. So yeah, he eats this, and and this fruit he ate was the I don't remember the name of it now, but he gained the power of like elasticity, or
yeah.
his body became rubber, so like you said earlier, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, but then what makes it really cool is there's actually a counter to it, or like a kryptonite, I guess you could say. And so anybody that eats any of these fruits, if they get like seawater splashed onto them, or if they like fall into seawater, they lose the ability to use their power, and they sink like rocks. Um, the anime doesn't really, or excuse me, the live action didn't really portray that too well, but the anime, at least in the first time that you see Luffy fall into the water, like he just
Mm.
sinks like a rock instantly. And yeah, so it's kind of cool. Like there is some power limits, if that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, as you say, they don't really go into it that deeply in this. Again, we've only seen the first episode, but from what we hear, it's like, okay, since he's had this, he can't swim. He's not good with seawater. It takes away his powers. Yeah, I've forgotten about the sinking like a stone thing. That's cool, Angry, that you brought that up. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? It's not some kind of all-powerful magical item which makes him invincible. There are limits, and the fact that he wants to be king of the pirates and now he can't swim, and seawater's dangerous to him, that sets up a lot for the future, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, let's have a look. Here we go. I've got a good comment from Megaloid is saying, AC or Grey, do you know personally any Japanese die-hard One Piece fans that actually watched or are interested in watching it? That's a good question. How about you? I don't know anyone, AC, over here.
I did, but I don't have contact with them anymore. They were like a lot of my old coworkers, so
Ah,
I would, if I could, I would contact them, but I don't have their information. And I'm trying to think of anybody I know like here, and I really don't know of anybody else. So yeah, I would have to try to look into that to see.
mm,
Actually, there is a guy on YouTube who is a big One Piece fan, and actually he's a pretty hard critic, and he thinks the show is pretty good so far. He actually really likes the show, so I would say he's pretty hardcore as it comes. Yeah, to
cool.
answer your question.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. I don't know, with my age, like I'm an old man over here, so there's nobody I know personally. There might be some of the students, but I don't think they either have access to Netflix or I wonder. But I guess it is kind of targeted more for an international audience, isn't it? With the international cast, and there was quite a lot of criticism about the casting, wasn't there, in the beginning, AC? But as we've been talking, I've found them good in the parts so far. Let's get to another one I like. Well, I'm not like, but I like her in the manga and the anime. Nami-san. What do you think of Nami so far? Here we go.
I was kind of skeptical at first because I was worried, like, oh, right, all right, let's see, we got this, female character. How are they going to do this? And actually, she isn't too bad, and she's not irritating. And I think she plays the role pretty well compared to manga, or excuse me, the anime.
Mm.
But yeah, she's not bad. The actress doesn't seem to be too bad. She's a little bit on the, if I can be polite, the pochari side, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that doesn't
So,
bother me though.
and
I know what you
I
mean
guess I'm
though.
okay with it, so it's fine. But yeah, she seems to be pretty cool. She does it really well.
You're never going to get the kind of look, are you, that's portrayed in manga and anime with live action unless you CG things. But it's Emily Rudd who plays Nami. I wasn't sure about her at first. Who kind of a little bit, what do you call it? Not phoned in, but she didn't seem to be putting much emotion into it. But I think that's part of the character. But I've heard that she is a huge fan of the of either the anime or the manga. I don't know. The actress, she's a big fan, and she was delighted to be a part of this. And she's gone out saying that, all over
Well,
social
that's
media.
great.
She's good to hear in it for a change these days.
Yeah, that's great. And I think her fight scene in the Marine base, she did really cool. Like, it was really cool to see her fight, and she it was well choreographed, and like they trained her how to do it well. And so, because I was kind of worried, I was like, all right, is she gonna be able to do it? But she held it off pretty well.
I know. I was like you, mate. I was like, I think that's actually her doing most of the
Yeah,
scenes, wasn't
yeah,
it?
I think
She
so. I
looked
think
good, and
so.
at one point when you see her holding the she's got like a long bow staff, hasn't she? And she's not huge muscles, but she looks like she's worked out her arms. It's not these little skinny, Sabine arms from like
Well,
Ahsoka, that kind of
but
thing.
well, I was gonna say, if I could just quickly say something about Sabine, like when I
Yeah,
saw her fighting, I was like, why do her arms look so toned like a man, like man toned arms? So that kind of took me out of the show for a little bit. But when I saw Nami fighting, I was like, oh, you know what, it's still the same actor like fighting. So
yeah.
yeah.
It's Nosferatu. Why does she look like a method addicted Hayley Williams? She's about to do a set for Paramore. I don't know, mate. I don't even know what that means because I'm pure and innocent, Nos. Come on, it's me. Okay, you've not seen episode 2 yet, have you? So I'm not going to spoil it.
No,
But
no,
we get a
I have seen up to 3. I watched 3 right
oh,
before we
brilliant! Did you
started the
watch?
stream. Yeah.
Oh, nice one. We get like a kind of setup for episode 2 because we see him. We see a poster of him, don't we? Is it at the Marine, not the Marine base, but in the Marine town?
Yes.
What do you know
Yeah,
about
this
Boogie?
Yeah, so this character, like, he's really, really funny in the anime. He's really goofy, and so I was kind of like curious to see how they're gonna do him in the show. And they give him kind of like a creepy factor, I guess you can say, with his like
Yeah,
dialogue and stuff. But he's still funny, and he demands all this like attention from people, and like it's really good. I think it was was like scared of him because he had like the scary clown vibe, but he's just kind of dumb in some aspects when it comes to like he's just full of himself, right? So he's kind of blinded by his own spotlight. So anyways,
yeah.
it's pretty well done. I like it.
I told you, as I said before we went live, I got halfway through episode 2, but I was like, I was a bit like giddy, a bit late, so I stopped it. But I thought he was excellent. I'm not sure who the actor is who's playing him. I can have a quick look now, but he really takes off. He lifts episode 2. It's Jeff Ward as Boogie the Clown. It's a clown themed captain of the Boogie Pirates who's devil fruit. Okay, I won't spoil him. I won't talk about that. There we go. So yeah, I was impressed with what I've seen of him, and as you say, he does go for a little bit of a Joker style clown portrayal at times, doesn't he? Especially when he goes into his laugh.
Yeah, and when they do some of those close-up shots, one thing I found impressive is like, at least with this character, you could tell like he's been living in that like costume for a long time, like his outfit and his makeup or whatever, because he looked really dirty like up close on the camera.
Yeah, that was
And
a
I
good
was like,
point.
that's really cool that
Nice
he
detail.
does look gross, like a dirty pirate. So
You dirty pirates, you dirty rats. That's awesome. Yeah, so yeah, as I say, for people who may be just tuning in or you're not sure our take, I'm not saying this is great, and I can assure you it's not terrible, but it is what it is. It's goofy, it's silly, it's fun, but I got a happy kind of buzz from it. You get kind of sold on the enthusiasm, especially of Monkey D. Luffy, the guy who plays him, the Mexican actor. He's very good. It's a weird character to play, so it's always going to come across a bit weird. But from what we've seen, I've really liked it. Now, let's just move on to the next photo. I'm not sure. I've not got that many photos, Irene, because I say I was a little bit late preparing. But okay, here's another one I wanted to talk about. And again, I don't know the character very well. I know he's meant to be a bit of a. He starts off as a real weakling. You know, he's being bossed about. Is it Usopp?
No, this is
I
Gubby.
don't.
I,
Okay, thanks.
yeah,
Got it.
Usopp is later. He gets introduced in episode 3, but this should be Gubby, and
Gotcha.
he yeah, like in the first episode, like he's on the ship with the woman pirate, and then like Monkey or Luffy definitely just like saves him, and yeah,
Yeah.
he's kind of like a typical like shy kid. He's like, I don't know what I should do, and like Luffy gives him that push, and then he ends up like wanting to join the Marines, which the Marines are basically like the world police, and yeah, so his character is like actually pretty accurate to the anime, except he's not in
Hmm.
the anime. He's a little bit more like whiny and cryy, I think, if I remember correctly. But in the show, he's doesn't come off as that. Otherwise, it'd be like really annoying to watch. So, um, yeah,
That's one of the tropes, isn't it? With anime, especially, you get the kind of the crying character all the time. But yeah, that's right. Thanks
yes,
for that. He was serving Captain. Is it Alvira? Something like that. Her
I
name
think so.
Alvida. That's it. Alvida. So she's the ruthless leader of the Alvida pirates, and she fights with that large spiked iron club. So yeah, we see her and him at the beginning. So yeah, nice one for that.
Kobe. Sorry, his name is Kobe.
Obi. That's it. Okay. Oh, we've got Salty in the chat. He's saying trying to DM me, so crap cell signal. No worries, Salty. I know you're traveling, mate. And great to see you. No way, long time no see. Purple, Valkyrie's in the chat. How you doing? Great to see you. Talking about something positive, Purple. Can you believe it? And again, I'm not saying this is amazing. I'm saying it's worth a look if you want something a little bit fun, a little bit goofy. But Angry, from what we've seen, and you've seen the first 3 now, it does seem to get better as it goes on. What do you think about that? Does it improve as because a lot of the first episode is set up, understandably, isn't it?
Yeah, the first episode, you're setting up like the 3 or 4 characters, well, 3 main characters, I guess you can
Yeah.
say, and then actually the second episode. So the first 2 are basically a story arc, and then I think 3 and 4 is its own story arc, and then maybe
Okay.
like it follows in twos because, like I said, these are 8 50-minute episodes taken from I think about 50 anime episodes.
Something like
And
that. Yeah. It's a lot, isn't it? They've had to try and cram in.
yes. And so, I guess you could say it's getting better as in like they're Luffy's piecing together his crew. So like, he's collecting or he's I don't want to spoil it because you're not even up to where I'm at, but like he's just adding to his adventure. And so yeah, I guess you could say it does get progressively better and there's like new characters and new enemies, so it's really cool.
Good. No, I appreciate that. Good to get your take. And thank you very much, Salty. I appreciate that. I'll see if I can check DMs in a sec. I'm just, what do you call it? I'm struggling with my internet at the moment, as Angry can tell you. Before we went live, I was going all Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto again. So see what happens. It's whenever I try and share on StreamYards. But do we have any more photos? Let me just check. Okay, I think this is the last one I took before I went live. But we get to see in episode 1 the 3 kind of main characters. We see like Monkey D. Luffy trying to get his pirate crew together, and it's so funny, isn't it, Angry, that they're like, I'm not joining your crew. I've got no interest. Like,
Yes,
stop talking
yes.
to me. I don't even want to be your friend, kind of thing. But I like that dynamic, and it's a common thing in manga, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, what's that like I don't know if it's you call it a trope, but like if you say it
Hmm.
enough, it will become an eventuality. Like you
Yeah,
just keep saying it and it eventually becomes. And so that's what he's doing to them. He's like, "You're part of my crew, and we're the Straw Hat Gang or whatever."
that's it.
And they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"No, we're not part of this." And then like I mean, obviously they do join his crew, but yeah, he's just very enthusiastic about it. So yeah, this scene that you took the screenshot from it was really cool to see the fight in this. Like it was I think it was like yeah, the end of the first episode, pretty much the peak of it, and all of them did like specifically Zoro too, like his fighting, and it was like believable. It
Yeah.
wasn't like ridiculous or like I don't know weird looking, I guess you can say. So and yeah, I'm not usually attracted to white chicks, but yeah, Nami was doing pretty good in this fight. So
Oh, really? Wow, the secrets, ladies and gentlemen, are coming
Yeah,
out.
coming out.
I'm
Yeah,
Canadian.
AC exposed.
Easy exposed. I'm not just kidding. I'm the same. Look, I'm attracted to any chicks. Just saying that. Yeah, what I'm going to say, this scene was really good. This is the kind of climax of episode 1, and it is a big fight scene in this marine base, isn't it? We see all of the 3 different fighting skills. Of course, you can tell that Zoro, the Sonny Chiba's son's character, he is the best. He's obviously trained in real life. But even the way they showed Monkey D. Luffy, his kind of weird stretchy punches and kicks and the way he can dodge out of the way, I really like that. I got used to it. What do you think about the CG? Because it's going to get criticised. It can't be made to look realistic, can it? Even for this to work, I don't think.
Yes, so I'm very curious as we get towards the end of the season, like, because I think I'm trying to remember. There's some like really crazy like characters and whatnot, and
Yeah.
I think it's in episode 2. There was a giant creature that's all CGI'd,
Oh,
and I thought it was okay. Like, clearly you can tell it's CGI, but it wasn't like, I don't know. I don't. It didn't look too bad for me, so I think it does all right. But the biggest one is Luffy stretching, because that is like kind of like the main thing for the show is him being able to do all this stuff, and it looks really good for him stretching and whatnot. It looks really, really good. So they must have spent a lot of extra time and money to make it seem very realistic compared to some of the other CGI shots. Um, yeah, I think it's fine.
good. Am I okay, Angry? I'm not roboting, am I?
No,
I
you're
just
good.
opened up Twitter, so just replying to Salty. Salty, thank you so much for the generosity, mate, for the ice cream, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, he's kind of on the road. He's busy, and of course, I keep forgetting he doesn't have Netflix. It's like no Netflix for Salty, so he hasn't seen it. But great that you're in the chat. Great that you guys are listening in. Really appreciate it. The hot dog was the first one, was it? Okay, mate, I got you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hot dog and ice cream, AC. Does that sound good at the moment?
Oh yes, it's summertime. It's hot, so yes, I definitely want something like that right now.
I'm gonna find a quick clip to say this is for Soldy because I know how much he loves Tim Curry in drag.
Enchanté. Well, nice.
How nice. Okay, let's just stop sharing for a minute. Where are we? Stop screen. So, okay, let's have a look at it. Great to see you in the chat. I say I'm missing everybody because we're waffling on, aren't we? But as I say, Nosferatu's still here. Salty, Stephen, Purple, so good to see you. Now I've realised, Purple, I won't say anything, but yeah, now I understand why you're tuning in. It's awesome to see you. Jaina, appreciate it. Jaina, hope baby's good and Genki. Have I missed anybody? Nosferatu, I already said. Zacks says he'll be here when he can. I know how busy Zacks is. Don't worry about it, mate. It's great that you're in the chat. And Low Spec Linux, I really appreciate it, man. I'm curious to know if you're still there. Do drop it in the chat. Are you watching this at all? Are you interested because of the the connection to the Japanese manga and the anime? But AC, going back to the show now, checking the credits, it does say, of course, that is it Eiichiro, isn't it? Eiichiro Oda-san is heavily involved in this. He's an executive producer, of course, but I heard a reaction from him. I don't know if you've heard this. Have you heard anything about it?
No, I haven't.
From what I've heard, and I'm like, what do you call it? What's the word when you say, I'm not quoting, I'm rephrasing. Jesus, my brain's not working. He said it's, it's not bad, basically. It's pretty good. He's happy with how it's turned out. He's not saying it's perfect. It can't be a perfect adaptation, but I think he was pleased with what he's seen, and that's what I've heard. Again, I'm paraphrasing. That's the word. I'm paraphrasing, but so that was his reaction. I also saw a really good video of the actor who plays Monkey D. Luffy, Inaki Godoy, going to meet Oda-san in his studio in Japan. Like he was so humble. He was like going crazy. Great to see him. To meet this
That's
like
awesome.
manga god. Isn't
I'm gonna
that
have
cool?
to check it out later.
Do you think they're doing that not on purpose so much? Maybe I'm being cynical here, but is that a kind of play to like, look, let's make sure we don't piss off the fans with this show right from the start? What do you reckon?
So did they do this with Cowboy Bebop? Like, did they do this type of like reaching out and getting the creator
Nothing. Not
involved?
at all.
Okay, so
No.
then they clearly are learning from their mistakes with that show and the fan outrage. And so I think like with this show, yeah, by making sure that the original creator is an executive producer, and I
Yeah.
don't know like how much control he has, because he could be just like a consultant or like
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
whatever. Um, I will say for sure, I don't think he is on the same level as like Shigeru Miyamoto was for the Mario movie, because like he had like his hands all the way inside the cookie jar for that movie, because that's
Oh, I
like
didn't know
his.
that. Really?
I
That's
mean
good
that
to
like
hear.
yeah, that's his children. So
Yeah,
like he
yeah, of
had. I
course.
know for sure he had way more creative control.
Miyamoto-sama. My God, I used to like almost worship him when I was when I was young, into the snares and the N64. Jesus.
So anyways, like I think it's smart that yeah, they had him go to the studio and like yeah, sure they use it for promotion because they want to show. They probably want to try to rebuild some of that public trust a little bit, but then again, like
Mm,
a corporate company is gonna be a corporate company, so there's only so much they're gonna do.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of I want to see those now because I want to see the reaction. I want to see like um yeah, I want to see it. It'd be pretty interesting to see that.
Where are we? Got Nosferatu. Oh my God, AC, just watched the first 2 episodes of Bebop. It seems like a purposeful troll job. Yeah, I did try it out, Nos, because you know how much we adore the anime. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. But I tried the live anime adaptation, and there were some things which were quite good. It looked pretty good. I liked what's the guy called in the main part? John something, isn't it? He wasn't too bad, but it just felt like a series of scenes kind of tacked on, and then they started changing the original, like whatever the source, and oh man, it got more and more, so we say, diverse. But nothing wrong with diversity when it's not forced, when it's not pushed in your face, when they don't change the original
Yeah.
like source code to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Copa's got a good comment here.
Okay, is this one? The showrunner of live action One Piece specifically called out Cowboy Bebop's mistake of not sticking to the source material. Cool. Okay, thanks, Copa. Again, I've seen criticism from, hardcore One Piece, probably manga fans more than the anime fans, saying that it doesn't show everything. It can't show everything, can it? And it has to kind of change a few things to work on TV. What do you reckon?
Yeah, especially like I don't know how long this show will go on as far as like this
Mm,
live action adaptation, but man, I've seen clips and stuff of like some of these characters in the future, like they're just some of the craziest, creepiest looking characters
creepy is
or
the word, yeah.
monsters. Yeah, or monsters or locations. It's so yeah, there will be a limit to what you can adapt, and I think what it's adapting so far is very feasible and it's doable. Clearly, it's doable because I'm hooked. Like I as soon as this ends, I want to go keep watching the rest of the show because it's got me hooked on it right now.
Well, that's great to hear that. There you go, ladies and gentlemen out there in the chat listening in. That's if that's not a good recommendation, and that was just angry, like just telling you what he thought about it. It's only in like first 3 episodes, but you're hooked, yeah? You want to see more. That's great. I'm very happy to hear that. Are you
You got
okay?
some.
Am I still?
No, you're good. I was to say you got some funny comments in the chat.
I keep missing them.
So,
It's flying. I've missed a subscriber as well. I don't know if sorry if I missed somebody gifting that, but I really appreciate it. It says thanks so much for subscribing, Carter Starter. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And if somebody gifted that, I really appreciate it. Where are we? I missed one from Low Spec who was talking about where are we? Here we go. Okay, you like both the Death Note anime and the Japanese live action. That's interesting. I was talking about an article, and I'll read from it in a little bit, but the Netflix doesn't have a great history with the adaptations of Japanese properties, shall we say, especially anime. They do pretty well with some of the Western superhero titles. I'm thinking of Daredevil, of course, even Luke Cage season 1, things like that. But Death Note and Cowboy Bebop got a lot of flack, didn't they, Angry? As far as I know, for Netflix version.
yeah, I remember hearing about it. I've unfortunately not seen the anime yet. I probably should watch it. But yeah, I remember that people are like, "What is this monstrosity that they decided to adapt?" It was pretty bad.
Okay. Sorry, I haven't seen. I've seen a little bit. I've seen the trailer, and I've watched the first few episodes of the anime. But the live action, Yeah, it does have a very bad reputation, doesn't it, on for Netflix properties? But it looks like they really are trying to change course with this. Now, again, it's me, Mr. Positivity. Don't forget, maybe I was looking for like wanting to like something, something good after watching the hideous Wheel of Time season 2, first 3 episodes. I won't talk about that here. I know Salt is in the chat, but oh my god, what a nightmare that was. So I watched this as a kind of palate cleanser, and it's just goofy fun. And surprisingly, the pirate action scenes are really good. The sword fighting scenes are good. There's a little bit of chemistry from what I've seen between the characters, but hopefully that will build. Angry, what do you reckon? Is that a fair summation?
Oh, dude, I totally agree. It's just fun to watch. Like I said,
Yes.
I wanna sit down and binge it and throw away, or not throw away, but not study today because I need to study. But I want to binge this show because it's just so much fun and it's goofy and hilarious. But I would say like my only critique is the music is not really selling it for me. Um,
Ah,
I
interesting. Yeah,
really
yeah,
like the anime's music. It's
yeah.
very
Me too.
strong orchestral, and this is like the music doesn't really sell it, but maybe it'll improve. I don't know. But I know the music, at least in this live action, shouldn't be the focus point. It should be the acting and the characters. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just something I noticed actually.
The music, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was quite good. I got a bit of Pirates of the Caribbean vibes. I think maybe my brain is misremembering the theme tune. It's like a little bit Pirates of the Caribbean-y.
No,
I
you're
don't
right. Like
know.
I wasn't thinking about it with the music, but more like the set design kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Some
Yeah,
aspects, not everything. It just looked very. I think Pirates of the Caribbean set a standard for what a pirate movie should look like, and
yes.
so
That was the
like
first one was fantastic, wasn't it? Don't you
it
think? It's
is, yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
And so like you have a show like this, and you have other shows that are gonna probably use that as a reference or frame of reference, and they must have did their homework because it looks really good.
Thank you. Good to see Miss Martin Muses in the chat. Teresa, hope you're good. Hope you're Genki. Nice one. Yeah, great comments. I can't keep up with them. This is amazing, Angry. But good to see that there is interest in this. As I say, it only just dropped on the 31st of August. 8 episodes. They are quite long, though, aren't they, AC? I wanted to ask you about that. Do you think, and I've seen that criticism in a few reviews saying it does feel like they could have made like 10 shorter episodes, rather than going for like 8, like almost an hour each, aren't they? The first one's over an hour anyway.
Yeah, I when I turned it on to like watch this morning, I didn't know that it was gonna be like an hour long. I was like, oh crud, I guess I
I
better
know.
like sit through this because like I can't just like casually watch it and but I've I wasn't like pulled away from it like to check my phone or anything like that for the most part. Like it kind of kept I was invested, but then again, like I'm watching it because I want to see how accurate, I guess you can say it is to the
Mm,
anime, and so it's keeping me invested, and but then also seeing the characters and like how they're acting, the actors, and so I think it's not bad. I mean, it has to be like the 50 minutes because, like I said, they're condensing like 50 plus episodes of anime into like 8 episodes of live action. So
exactly.
they gotta keep excuse me, the story moving, and I think the pacing isn't too bad in my opinion. Like I don't think it's like slow like some current shows and or
Mm,
fast like a kids show. Like it's pretty good. So the
that's a
pacing.
good point, mate. I want to point that out. That's one thing I noticed because we talked again briefly before we went live. That I thought Wheel of Time was so slow. The opening episode, especially season 2, not just the way people are talking, and we've heard that criticism with Ahsoka, haven't we? With the first episode, it's like the line delivery is slow. It's there's lots of shots of people just walking to places, and it feels like things are stretched out to basically make minutes, watch minutes or watch hours. But again, you could say I was being cynical, but I just want to address this from Salty. I didn't miss it, mate. Sorry, I've not read it out. He's a member for 2 months, Salty. I appreciate your support, mate. And he's saying that Noz wants you to drink Everclear, which is grain alcohol, and black out. Much love, my dude. Yeah, I'm taking a break from the source at the moment, Salty and Nosradu. I know I said that before, and I'll say it again, I'm sure. But yeah, well, thanks for the members chat. I really appreciate it. And low spec, sorry mate, I got that. Yeah, you didn't mean the Netflix one. You meant the Japanese version, didn't you? Of course you did. Yeah, the live action. Okay, just catching up. This has been amazing. Say, it's the first time streaming again, Angry. I'm kind of like dusting off the cobwebs in my brain.
I understand.
If there's anything else you want to mention, do so. Because I just want to go and grab a drink. I'll be like 30 seconds. Go for it.
Um, so
Anything's good.
I was gonna say, like, what were your thoughts on, real quickly, what were your thoughts on the hair color of some of the characters? Because they pretty much took them straight from the anime, and I thought it didn't seem unrealistic, like the colors I would, like Zoro's hair color or
Yeah.
Nami, because Nami's got like that bright, what, orange, I guess you would say, or red.
Yes.
So,
I found it weird. Initially, I found it a little bit weird, but I got used to it, if that makes sense. I got used to it quickly and then I didn't notice it. So, yeah, there's like the orange and red hair. It is, as you say, it's from the anime. Of course, you can't see colours in the manga, can you, usually, apart from the first
yes.
couple of pages. So, I don't know how source accurate that is, but it didn't bother me. It's not like the trend of the purple-haired, half-shaven, side-headed haircut. There's none of that in this show,
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Well, Nos wants me to talk about Sanctuary while you go get a drink, so
Okay.
I'll rant about that, I guess.
I'll be
while
2
you go.
seconds, mate. Yeah, cheers. Thanks, sir.
All right. Yeah, so yeah, Sanctuary, it was pretty cool. And I think I told Zacks that the reporter chick is like, I hate her like with a burning passion. She's like the most annoying character in the show. And if you guys have seen the terrible Apple TV Plus show called Invasion, she was in that show, and she played the exact same character in that show. Just an annoying, like the world needs to revolve around me character. And but anyways, the rest of the show was amazing. It was hilarious. Um, it was really funny to see, um, to learn some of the like language from the show, even though I don't remember it. But some of the rough language that was used in Japanese is really funny. But yeah, it was really intense. I really liked the show. It was pretty cool. How old was I when I became angry? Let's see. Probably it would have been halfway through my military career, so maybe 20 or 21. That's when I started to become angry.
I can't imagine you as angry, really, mate, being serious for a
No.
moment. You don't sound very angry to me. And I've got a confession, ladies and gentlemen. I've met Angry in real life, and he wasn't angry at all.
Oh, trust me, I've changed since I've left the military. Like I've tried my best to get to calm myself because it was pretty stressful. But no, American military, Jana.
Okay, nice one.
Ahsoka is better than Sanctuary. Well, no, because like the characters were more interesting in Sanctuary. Even though I like
Fighting talk.
even though I like Ahsoka the character, the show itself is just it's a snooze fest for me right now.
It's just funny what we're saying. What's going on here? You
I
get
don't
a
know.
lot of criticism for your Ahsoka takes, but
Yeah.
come on, guys and girls out there. It's this is a very fair place. Everyone's opinion is valid, especially mine. No, I'm joking. I gave up on it, Angry. I watched the first episode of Ahsoka, and I was using that, what do you call it, the skip option or the fast forward for a lot of the scenes. I even
Oh, that's
turned up
funny.
the play speed, and I was wishing we had that with Amazon Prime for Wheel of Time. I wanted to turn it up to like 1.5. It was so bloody slow. But we're getting distracted, aren't we? If we talk
Yes.
about Wheel of Time, Nosferatu is going to pull out his katana and attack me. Okay, speaking of katanas and attacking and, of course, pulling things out, we've got another guest coming in, Angry. Hot, straight out of the Canadian military, it is Zacks.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Good, good to see you.
Don't let me ruin your flow. You guys are doing great. I just want to come hang out.
You would never ruin my flow, darling. You know that.
Or should I leave? You guys need a room?
That's after. That's backstage. Backstage, back door. You know how it goes.
So before we get started, Zach, this is a serious question.
'Kay.
Did you get any of the episode 1 watched or not?
I got the first 15 minutes watched.
Okay, what are your initial thoughts? And be
I can give it.
honest.
I can give it a full review. So I think that it has excellent cinematography. There's a lot of it, and you can never discount that. There's plenty of boats. Like I really like the amount of boats so far in this, and there's different types of boats, different colors of boats. It's
Me
a very
too.
multicultural boat like world they've created for us, and the costumes are good. I thought that Dustin Hoffman, I didn't know if make a great Hook from the very beginning, like when they cast him, but he really pulled the role off, I think, in this. And the big drawback for me was Gina Davis. I don't know if she was the right person for this, and her Matthew Modine, I don't know if they had any chemistry, really. And to carry a film like this, and like, oh, here, share my screen, Gray. So you can tell they just don't like each other. And like, look she's not comfortable with this at all. Right?
Oh
At
my
all.
goodness, what are we looking at?
Like she's look at the distance. Look at this gap between the two of them. She doesn't want to be anywhere near him. So I think that, like, I mean, as far as pirate shows go, I think this one's so far so good, and I'll finish watching it. But yeah, I think that these two it doesn't work for me. But I think that he makes a great pirate, Dustin Hoffman.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Zaxx, you madman. I say you might enjoy this with your kids. I'm not sure the the Netflix adaptation. I don't know if they're fans of the manga or the anime at all.
Yeah, my oldest boy, he's been watching the anime, and
Okay.
yeah, it's like he's already like told me a little bit about it, but it seems daunting to get into that. Like, how many episodes are there? Like 1,000 or something like that? It's insane.
It's about 1,000.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
insane.
have you watched all of it, AC?
No, like I mentioned earlier, I only watched up to like episode 60 around that time. But it's like it's kind of past this current Netflix show's like story that they're doing.
Right.
And yeah, I want to get back into it, but it's the problem is there's so many like filler episodes, so you have to kind of watch it in chunks, like story arc chunks, and that's what Brandon, the anime guy, is doing right now. So I might follow a similar path like that, because then it's not as daunting. You watch it in chunks, and then you could take a break and go watch something else, and yeah.
Hello, chat. I'm just getting my YouTube up over here now. So I was on my laptop earlier, and now I'm over on here. So
Getting a lot of love in the chat, Zaxx.
I wanted to get as quick as I could on here with you, Gray. It's been too long.
It has been ages, yeah. I say 2 weeks. My daughter was back, so I couldn't really stream, this time. So great to see, and I really appreciate the support in the chat and behind the scenes and DMs. Nosferatu, looking at you, really appreciate it, mate. Ooh. Thank you. Got a question for you, Zaxx and AC. Yeah. Who wants to be the Pirate King here? Come on.
I'll be the Pirate King. I actually I liked how this episode started. I liked that the series, like, right away got right into it and told you it showed you that it's an over the top, not to be taken super seriously story, but yet I thought the performances were good by the Pirate King, or soon to be Pirate King, and that Admiral or whatever that guy was. I thought he makes a good immediate villain, and
yeah, he was good. I liked him, that actor, whoever he is. Yeah,
I thought that was a great way to start it. Instead of, I'm glad they didn't go right to is it Luffy on the boat by himself?
Yes,
it would have been a bit dull. Yes. Yeah.
I like that you sort of got the large scope of the world first, and then onto his part, just to get you an idea of what it's like, a tease as to what it's going to open up to. I thought that was a good way to start it. I'll keep watching it for sure.
Cool. No, it's good. I really appreciate it, and thanks for giving me your review of, what is it, a combined review of Hook and what was that pirate movie called with Gina Davis?
Cutthroat Island. You don't remember Cutthroat Island?
I've forgotten about it. Oh,
that was
Jesus.
Like the biggest bust of all time, or at the time it was one of them, and man, they put a ton of money to that one.
It was a huge bomb, wasn't it? That's right. Yeah. I do remember that. Yeah. No
Gina
way.
Davis, her big lead. She's good. And she's tall for a woman, so that's good.
She is tall.
Gotta love tall women. And Matthew Modine, though,
good night.
You can see he's making her uncomfortable.
There was not much chemistry in that shot, was there, actually? No, showed us. Not a lot.
Not at all. None.
By the way, Zaxx, we got Purple Valkyrie in the chat as well. Long time no see. Great to see her at this time.
So Nos is saying Legend of the Overfiend. I've heard of that, but I don't know what it is.
That's that clip I often play, the one that I have to heavily censor.
Yeah.
Don't ever show your children. Don't ever show them that.
The one that you show us backstage, the whole clip? That one?
That's the one.
That's the one.
And that's the tame clip. I've got like 20 more stored on my hard drive,
Well,
oh, Jesus.
Can I take a look at your hard drive when we're done, Gray?
Yeah, of course. Not live, though. We'll save it for later, if that's okay.
Okay, sure.
So, I don't think what's left to say, but as I was saying, just to repeat, it's not fantastic. but it's not terrible. It's fun. It's goofy. It is what it is. It's a One Piece, live adaptation, and I'm liking the positivity, Zacks. You know me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
like. That's what sold me, and I'm liking the kind of focus on family, more like building a kind of family in the crew. That seems to be a major theme, and I'm looking forward to seeing that explored.
There's some brutal violence in this already too.
Right?
I was not
Yeah.
expecting that. Like, well, it wasn't all shown. It wasn't explicit, but it was heavily implied that mace with the duck mace. What's with that? Yeah, it was. Yeah, I can,
There's more. There's more, Zaxx. Keep watching. There's
I will.
worse than that.
Yeah. It's interesting though because it seems colorful and almost like kid friendly, but it's really I don't think probably is.
There's
could
amazing katana sword fighting scene.
Oh.
I don't know if you got to that bit yet in episode 1 where you first meet
No.
Zoro, Sonny Chiba's son. Sonny Chiba, man, the legendary martial artist film actor. His son's in this. Yeah.
Tall women, yeah, they can be scary.
Do they scare you? I don't worry because I'm 6'3" and Salty. Look at him, 6'5",
Oh, yeah, he's
showing
bigger.
off in the chat there, Salty. Okay, so yeah, I don't think we've missed that much. As I say, we wanted to keep it focused on episode 1, but Angry's recommending we stick with it, Zacks. We carry on. I'm halfway through episode 2, and there's a really cool, crazy clown pirate character who comes into it, who's very well portrayed.
I will. I'm gonna finish watching this episode, and I'll see if I want to keep watching after that. But I'm looking for something different to watch. So that's because Wheel of Time. I couldn't finish episode 3.
Oh God, how bad is it?
Oh my
It's
god,
awful.
it's worse than it's not even comically bad. It's like it's so okay. It's so pretentious this season. Like, I mean, Rosamund Pike loves herself and her performance, but there's nothing to her except for we get long shots of her face that does nothing because of all the injections she's had.
She's just striking a pose all the time, but she
All the
hardly
time.
changes her facial expression, does she?
Never. There's no depth to her character whatsoever. She's pretentious and annoying, and I didn't notice that as much maybe the first season because it was just so horrifically, almost comically bad. But this was just, I mean, they really love themselves.
And apologies to people in the chat. I know Nosferatu's going to get angry. Maybe AC. This is not a Wheel of Time stream, but we just wanted to get that out. I went from that, Zaxx. I went from watching those 3 episodes to watching this morning, getting ready for the show, and I was like, "This is so much better. This is so much more fun." I don't know the characters that well. I don't know the lore. I'm not a huge fan of the anime or the manga, but I'm just having fun watching this. It's light and it's easy, and sometimes that's all you want.
I agree, 100%.
6
And
for 3.
Jana says it's a bad take, but I'm not saying that I like tall women. I think that if you're going to have a pirate captain as a woman, she should be tall. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Where are we?
Because they want to cast these like strong female characters, which is fine. But if they're, no offense to 5'3" people, Jana, but if you're 5'3" and you're looking up at everyone, it's tougher to take you seriously as being, a terrifying pirate. And I'm sticking to that. Get taller.
The character in this, like Nami, yeah, she's not that tall. I do like the actress playing her, but she uses a bow staff. She uses a weapon, Zack. So does that change your feelings about, I know what you mean. If you see a little chick like punching, knocking over like 6'3" guys, hugely muscular guys, you can't take it seriously. But again, this is not meant to be serious. It's based on a manga and an anime.
Yeah, weapons. Weapons help for sure.
Weapons do help, for sure.
5'1", but purple. You're just not gonna be
Cries
pirate
of
captain.
5'1".
You could still be a powerful female, just not a pirate captain. Although
you hobbit, I had no idea.
there's an advantage because like I guess you wouldn't get shot as likely, right? Because you're like below deck almost most of the time.
below the waterline.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Give Zax a shovel and let him keep digging.
Okay.
Keep digging. There you go. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Again, it's what's the word? It's not meant to be taken seriously, is it? Angry. This is One Piece. It's not meant to be taken seriously at all.
No, yeah, you're not supposed to. As long as you go in knowing that, I think you'll have fun. I think you will.
What's the One Piece? Why is it called the One Piece? What am I missing?
I really
Good
don't
question.
know per se. I don't actually. Yeah, I don't really know. I want to say it's just has something to do with like there's this one treasure. Like it is just a one piece, and if you get that, then it's like a deed to the land. Like you have the title of Pirate King, and but I really don't know because it's like I don't know if he's actually found it in the anime yet. I think he has, but it's like episode 1000 or whatever. So I'm not sure. I'll look it up.
Sorry, Nos.
Yeah,
God.
no. We're not doing
the
it
One-
great. Don't worry. We're not
One
gonna
Piece,
do that to
mate.
you.
Yeah, it's just a nickname of this supposedly Goldie Roger, whatever his hidden pirate treasure, which could be a myth. We don't know. I guess it never gets explained. No spoilers here, but yeah, it's just the name of the treasure that they're all going to search for. But I just like seeing practical sets. I like seeing the boats, even though they look a bit daft at times. It's not really CG. Not when you see the single boats, is it, AC? When you see the big load at the beginning, yeah, it's probably CG, but it's good seeing something set on the water. I was getting Master and Commander vibes with Zacks, but it's not as good as that, though. Of course, come on.
There's no Russell Crowe in this one yet.
There's no Russell Crowe.
I should have put him into my review. I should have added Russell Crowe. I'm
You
disappointing myself on that already. Yeah. I like pirate stuff, so I think it's it's not quite Black Sails yet, but
Have you guys ever watched that? I was going to bring it up. Have you ever watched Black Sails? Either?
yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I watched
Okay.
it, but I didn't finish it. I watched it though.
The final season is a bit takes a bit of a weird turn, I would say, but overall, it's worth watching, I think.
Okay, that's good to hear. I'm the same as you. I started it, but I don't even know if I finished the first season. But yeah, it was good. It was funny. It was just too much to watch at the time. And now it's like now we've got Wheel of Time and Ahsoka.
Now there's nothing to watch. Yeah, Ahsoka. Oof.
Guys, if it's okay, briefly, just want to read from one of the reviews that popped up. It's a fairly positive one, so just give you that, maybe bias, but here we go. This is from The Verge. I don't know much about the site. It opens up saying Netflix's One Piece is the rare anime adaptation that gets all of the important things right. Now, I don't know about all of them, but let's just bear with me while I read a little bit. Of course, Netflix has produced a handful of truly solid shows based on American comic books, but it struggled constantly to adapt Japanese manga and anime series for the small screen. Netflix has released enough lukewarm, I think that's a very kind word, or lukewarm, awkwardly westernized spins on classics like Death Note and Cowboy Bebop. That was a nightmare. It was easy to write off this new live action adaptation of Eiichiro Oda's One Piece. Blah, blah, blah. But unlike Netflix's past attempts at bringing two-dimensional characters to life by approximating visual accuracy, bloody hell, this is difficult to read, recreating iconic shots from the cartoons, One Piece works surprisingly well by getting truly important things right, like a robust sense of place. Zaxx, you were talking about that, and Angry. The action sequences that feel organic, believe it or not. So there we go. That was the opening to review. But yeah, they were impressed with it. They were saying you can see the love, you can see the respect. It looks good. The world building is pretty decent. My criticism myself is maybe the acting. I'm not kind of warmed up on the characters yet. I need to know more about them. And Zaxx, with episode 1, it is a lot of setup. You can't help that, can you? So once you get through that, I think it will improve.
Do you end up liking Luffy as a character, AC?
Yeah, like he has his moments because he's like kind of immature in the beginning, but he does grow. Like he's not forever like this child, but he still keeps like the core stuff of him, like wanting to eat a lot and like wanting to just throw his arms around. But like he's all about the family, like trying to bring people in, you see it in you'll see it eventually, like the little boy that he helps out, like he wants people to achieve their dreams too, like 'cause his dream is to get the One Piece, but he wants everyone else who has their own dream to achieve their own dream. And so he's always about making sure that they have focus to go and do that. So I don't think he does get better, but I don't think he's a problem right now for me.
No, he's not a problem. I just you're right, because they do introduce the idea of him saying like all I need is a crew. That's the first kind of thing that he's when he's talking to the camera, breaking the fourth wall. He's talking about the crew, not the boat. Even though the boat he's on is currently a problem, but what he wants is a crew, and so they do hit you with that right away. So that's good.
And you'll
Later,
see
low spec. Take it easy, mate. Good night.
You'll see, Zacks, like while you watch the I don't know if they'll do it for the rest of the season, but the first couple episodes, there's like some flashbacks of him as a kid, and you'll see why he acts the way he does, and it makes sense. Like it's, and I mentioned earlier, the pacing's really good. So like when you go to a flashback, it's not like weird or kind of like thrown into you. Like it makes sense when they do it, and so
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, he's a good character. I think I like him better than Goku in my opinion.
Ooh.
And I might be
Is that a
taking
hot take?
shots
I
at
don't know.
people.
I don't
Yeah,
know
that
if that's
could be a
hot
hot
take
take,
I don't know.
depending on who's
I
here.
don't I don't know either. So yeah, he's the kid who he stabs himself in the face. That's him as a kid. Is that a flashback?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
yes.
Okay. That's
was
an
a-
odd move.
Not a funny scene. It's not a movie.
No.
It made me laugh when he said, you know, what was it like Shanks goes, you could have had your eye out doing that. It's like, I was aiming for my eye, but I missed. It was quite funny.
Yeah. But that's
That was a
like
good line.
literally taken from the anime. But I would argue in the anime, he's more obnoxious when he's a kid. But that's just anime. They do that with their voice acting and they make
They
it just
do, they do.
extreme. So, but this is way toned down, like in the show.
That's right, shots fired, AC.
Oh,
12 years old? Are we really taking his opinion seriously? He's older than you think, mate.
Do I want to take opinions from a like 500-year-old dude who hasn't
know
seen the
it.
light of day?
Well, yeah. Nos, he's not wrong.
When's
that's all
the
accurate.
last time you touched grass there, Nos?
Oh, classic.
Ooh, yeah.
It's not a hot take, says Megaloid AC. I've never given a damn about Dragon Ball personally. There we go.
There you go.
Nice one. So yeah, that was it. I say that's it for the review. If you're still here, it's great to see you, and it's great. There's a lot of people in the chat. Zacks can't believe it. Unbelievable. Anything else you guys want to bring up? Want to talk about?
No, I don't
Speaking
know.
Oh.
of good things, Zacks, good. Anything good that you've watched recently that we've not heard about? Anything decent out there?
Wheel of Time really sucked a lot of my soul out last night trying to.
It was bloody awful.
I tried to get
seriously.
through it just so I could participate in the conversation about
Me
it.
too. I forced myself through it, and I watched a bit of Prophet's stream after that with Nosferatu, like trolling the chat, and everybody was just ignoring him. That was so funny. Apart from you, Zax, you were kind of chatting with him. But
I was, yeah.
That was cool. But yeah, they were so angry. Rightly so. They were so angry, weren't they? They were like screaming and shouting about it, and just I didn't recognise it, Zax. I've only read the first 2.5 books. I've almost finished book 3 yet. I didn't even bloody recognise half the stories. Like, what is this?
It's not the books at all. Like they're not even
No.
trying to adapt anything.
they've
from
gone
the
way
books,
away.
period. And it's like they act as though they're better than almost. Like that's the impression that I had watching it was like we're gonna do this better, and it's more in your face for me this season than last year for whatever reason. But yeah, so that what's good right now is I'm enjoying Baldur's Gate 3 quite a bit. That's
Oh, you're playing it. Oh, cool.
yeah, playing
No
that one
way.
again. Yeah,
You're a
yeah.
gamer, Zax.
Oh
Yeah, you haven't seen his middle of the night cyberpunk
No.
streams.
Never.
Yeah, it's no, I like my games, yeah. But I love RPGs, and this is like an old school classic style turn-based RPG, and I like the other Baldur's Gate games and all the old gold box games, way back in the day that were for I think like the Commodore 64. I had them for. So
Oh my God, you had a Commodore
Yeah.
64.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
too.
Yeah. I had played all those games, all the TSR games, like the Curse of the Azure Bonds, I think was one.
I knew there was a reason why I loved you, Zax. It's a
Pool of-
C64 connection.
Pools of
Oh my
Radiance.
goodness.
Pools of Radiance, all that stuff. That was my jam. So this is
Man.
great, and they do such a good job with like every character, or so far every NPC in this game you can talk to, and they don't have a lot to say to you, but they've taken the time to animate them at least. So you zoom in, you get to see them. It's not just like Cyberpunk, which I've been playing, where you can't interact with any of them or go
Yeah.
most of the buildings. It's just stuff that's in your way. So I think that this seems like they've put a lot of care into it, and so I'm enjoying it, taking my time with it, like a fine wine, Gray.
Nosferatu saying he misses the late night black streams. It's a shame. Okay.
Yeah, I want
It,
to do more of them. I just haven't. I don't know why.
The late night technicals health streams.
It's like part of it is because I don't know how to use what's it called?
OBS.
OBS.
Yes, yeah. And so StreamYard, it really people complain that it's super choppy, but I don't know how to do anything else. So
It's terrible. StreamYard. It wouldn't work for
Yeah.
me. Not powerful enough.
yeah, so I want to do it, but then I don't want to have it be. So I thought about playing games that were like almost more point and click style, like the Telltale games or this Observer game that Nos turned me on to, that has Rutger Hauer in it. It's one of his last things he did. So
Oh, really?
I
Sounds
thought
good.
something like that might be good because maybe it wouldn't be so bad with the graphics and StreamYard, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm babbling. Yes.
AC's been streaming Halo games recently. AC.
They're pre-recorded videos, but
okay.
I did that like a while ago just for fun. Yeah.
Salty, yeah, I had the cassette drive as well.
Me too.
Back in the day.
I had both Vic and C.
It was a miracle then. It's a miracle now. I don't know why it works. Like, I don't understand like why that worked as a drive.
Game on a tape. I know, right?
I don't know. You like fast forward to where the game was on the tape. It's like the weirdest thing. Yeah.
The noise it made, like, what is going on? There was a loading screen. It slowly appeared. I thought that was amazing. Look at the graphics on this.
Yeah, that's right. And then you play the games. They had the I guess the copy protection was they have like a little you have to have the guidebook, and it would say turn to page blah blah blah, and then what's the fourth word, or they'd have like a little thing you have to turn the dials of, and it would say like give you like the passcode to play the games, which you of course would just photocopy. But
oh man,
yeah.
So speaking like another language to AC, aren't we here? Like, tell you, man, you wouldn't believe it. The Commodore 64 and the VIC 20, crazy days.
He thinks Halo was classic. Get out of here with that.
Stop. Oh. No, I'm not that much of a whippersnapper.
So Angry, while we've got you here, I know. And by the way, if you need to drop, just let me know. But before you go, and I appreciate you sparing the time, mate. I know you're busy studying and not watching One Piece later. Don't tell the missus. But please do give us your Ahsoka take, because this is an open forum. Don't worry, you won't lose subscribers. You might even gain some. But anyway, no one's watching anyway, apart from my crew. So Daijo, but everyone's already subscribed to you, mate. Don't worry.
Well, to set it up, like I grew up watching the Clone Wars. I didn't grow up watching the original trilogy or the prequels like a lot of you guys did. So the Clone Wars was like the only reason why I became invested into Star Wars. And so I grew up with this character Ahsoka as like a young boy / teenager up until now. And I watched her in Rebels as well. And then when they decided to make this show, I didn't have Disney Plus at the time, so I was like, well, I guess I'll get it to watch it. And so I watched the first 2 episodes, and I knew right off the bat, I was like, oh my goodness, why? First of all, like the pacing and all like the long dialogues, drawn out dialogues, like I was becoming impatient while watching the show. And that was like the only thing that was really driving me nuts. But besides that, like I think the visuals don't look too bad. I think the cinematography doesn't look too bad. And but yeah, the acting for some of the characters are really weird. Like a lot of people call them like stiff boards, and like the way they're acting, and their charisma's not there too, or not charisma. What do you call that? Chemistry. They don't have like chemistry, because I'm watching One Piece right now, and the characters have like really good chemistry with each other, the actors, but in this Ahsoka show, it seems like none of them do, and it doesn't make any sense, because at this point in the story, they've all known each other for like a really, really long time. So the actors should be able to portray that, but they're not, and so it is kind of disappointing. And I know everyone's like a big fan of Ray Stevenson. I'm not super familiar with that guy, but he does. You could tell he does command a presence when he's on screen.
He was the best thing, AC. Just to interrupt, he was the best thing in that I saw in episode 1. His presence, it was amazing. Yeah, even though it was kind of ripping off Darth Vader.
The story is kind of weird. I won't lie when like how they're going about it with it right now, but I'm in it just to see how it will end, and then like I'll probably be done with Star Wars after that. Like I said, I forgot to mention that I watched Mando season 2, and that was like the last Star Wars that I watched was Mando season 2. So now I'm coming back and watching this show, and it's mid. I would say it's just mid. It's not anything to be making all these like hate videos about and reaction videos about. It's just mid in my opinion. It's not like Wheel of Time, disaster.
Yeah.
Have you seen Zacks? Have you seen episode 1 at all? Ahsoka.
Of what? I've seen all 3.
Okay, what's your take so far? I dropped out after the first episode.
It's pretty. I think the 3rd episode is probably the best because it was the shortest.
Oh right. Oh shit!
Yeah.
I missed it. Best one.
Yeah. Some of the ship combat stuff was fun, even though like none of it makes any sense. And like if you don't think about it too much, I guess it could be fun. But the performances are really, really weak in it. And I don't know why, because they can all act. It's like George Lucas style directing from the prequels, where it's like, don't have any personality, just say
Yeah.
these words just like this, and no emotions. And like Ahsoka is trying to be like she's the Obi-Wan to Luke in this. And if you remember in A New Hope, Obi-Wan was one void of personality. You know, he had fun, he laughed, he had emotions, right? He felt
Yeah.
things, and
Yes.
and that was part of his character. He wasn't like this. Even though like he controlled his emotions, he still had them. They existed. In this, it's like they just aren't a thing. And it's I've said this on my channel, but it feels like it's like three wine moms on a tour of Europe. And like there's like no consequences, they have no responsibilities, and they're just out doing whatever. And they all come from positions of power. They didn't gain anything, like they didn't come from nothing. They're all like there's a general, a commander, and a Jedi, and
Can
they
I
walk
join
into a
that
bar.
tour, Zacks? Can I join
Yeah,
your mom's tour?
It could be fun, but like there's not, and there's no refusal of the call to adventure, because it's like it's just you're just gonna go do stuff, and there's no attention. And hey, Six whatsoever
Thank you,
in it.
Six. How you doing?
So, but it doesn't. But at the same time, it doesn't make me hate characters I used to like Kenobi did. You know, so
yeah,
That's
that's a
interesting.
good point, Zax. That's a good point.
interesting.
Kenobi, just to
So-
briefly talk about that, Kenobi like made me almost hate. Well, I don't like Ewan McGregor anyway. Ewan McGregor's a complete
No.
tool, from what I've heard. You know, this is going back for years. I've listened to the commentary on Trainspotting. If you get the the directors and the star, he's a complete idiot. Ewan
Is he?
McGregor. He hasn't got a bloody clue. You got the writers, you got the director, and you got him. He was just like a spanner, a complete spanner.
okay.
British English there, mate. Sorry about that. Just, that was my reaction. But yeah, it's nowhere near as bad as Kenobi, in my opinion. But I've only seen the first episode.
It's not as offensive as that stuff was. It just kind of, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do with it. It's not the worst thing they've done, but I think it's probably a 5 at best. Like, you know, maybe average.
Okay.
I think the first episodes were below that, but I'm not a great reviewer for that kind of stuff. I can't review stuff I've watched. It's not fair.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
What would you
That's
give it
right.
as a score, AC, so far, having seen the first 3 episodes?
So originally when I watched the first 2, I gave them a 6, but then I rewatched them and I was like, yeah, they're not a 6. They're more like a 5, maybe
Okay.
4 because of the dialogue being so boring. But episode 3 was cool because the ship combat minus the weird fighting ships in a spacesuit on the wing of the ship. I know what they were trying to do
Really?
there because it was kind of a callback to the TV show, the cartoon, a little bit.
Okay.
Because they've done weird stuff like that in the cartoon, but
Okay.
it doesn't work in this live action format. So, but the 3rd episode was cool because of the combat, and I give it a 6. So for that episode,
The space whales, I don't know anything about that, but it's like Josh had said in another show, I think it was on Roman's stream. He said that it's the stuff like the fighting on the wing. So I didn't know it was the animated series. That makes more sense. But he said it was like when the writer's room, someone says, "Wouldn't it be cool if?" And that's how they write a script.
Oh, yeah.
If she did like flips on the wing of a jet of a space fighter, that'd be awesome. And then there's no thought about, well, how would we get there and how would that make sense? And it really, there was one of the issues is none of them seem the least bit concerned about what's happening with them at all. Like there's no threat. They have no emotions. It's just like some stuff is kind of fun for Sabine, and but I did like what they did with her, where they got the stunt double in, who is like at least twice her size.
oh, so I wasn't losing my mind when I saw
No.
that. Then okay, because
No.
I
She had
pointed
great
that out. I
arms.
was like,
Really
wait
good
a
arms.
second, this does not look like the same person.
Oh, not even close. It's not close.
Wasn't it convenient they had the helmet on at the time? So, that's a good idea.
Here you go. I'm gonna get this ready for you, Gray.
Just like shout out, Salty. Thanks for watching, mate. If you're still there, I really appreciate it. You have a great night, and best
I also
wishes.
Oh,
have-
good night, Salty.
I was gonna say I also wanted to add you seen episode 2, so you know the scene when Chopper throws the tag onto the ship. That didn't necessarily happen in the show, but that style of like that nonsense happening is a very like cartoonish thing that like kind of would have happened in the cartoon show. So I
Okay.
see elements of like this would have looked better in the cartoon, but they're like, oh, let's throw it in this show because we want to bring back the old fans.
Right. Okay. Well, callbacks and stuff is Totally fair. So this
She's
is
arms
this is
like me, Zaxx.
this
That's
is
my
Sabine.
arms.
Yeah, this is Sabine with her helmet off. Okay, and this is
Okay.
Sabine with her helmet on. You see the difference?
Yes. Oh
Look
my
at those
goodness.
shoulders.
I wasn't
Jesus.
crazy. I was
Yeah.
not crazy.
No, no.
That's genius, mate. Nice catch.
Yeah, it's not even close. I don't
How
even know why
bored
they
does
bothered to
Ahsoka
do
look in the
this.
background as well? How bored does Rosario Dawson look there?
That she looks like she's been sentenced to do this show, like it's a public service of some kind. She's been sentenced to. She doesn't seem to want to be there at all. I don't know if that's true or not, but man, yeah. So before, I mean, yeah, there's no definition there at all. She's
Could be the
not,
angles, that. You know, it could be. No, it's her arm. It's her arm.
It's not the angle, I don't think, Gray. And then we get this beast.
Oh my goodness. That looks like me.
Boom. That was like me in my dreams.
So yeah, there you go. You're welcome.
I can't tell how serious Copa's being. Like, he's saying it looks good. It's better than Kenobi, so I don't hate it.
He was, I think, talking about the cinematography that
Yeah. Oh,
Jana was asking about.
Okay, got it. And Angry, I appreciate that. I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that. I just wanted to get your take while you're here. And I do really appreciate you jumping on, talking about One Piece. This has been a blast. Before you go, because I know you're busy, you've got things to do shout out your channel and whatever you've got coming up.
Yeah, appreciate you inviting me on. I like the show so far, One Piece. So I encourage people to watch it. At least watch the first episode, see if it hooks you. As for me, yeah, you can find me on Angry Canadian here on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Next Saturday, I'll be a guest on this one guy named Nerdy Dio. He's kind of like a newer YouTuber, and he does video game live stream conversations and just like, talking and shooting the breeze about video games. And so I'll be with him, and I'll post it on like Twitter, on YouTube, so you guys can see it when it happens. And it'll be next week, 2 hours earlier than now. So I know people probably be streaming, but as for my own channel, I don't have anything coming up because, like I said, I'm kind of busy with studying right now. But I do appreciate everybody watching the videos I put out and, liking or whatever. And I try my best to like streams or retweet them on Twitter when you guys have your streams. So I'm still able to do social media stuff. So, but yeah, appreciate it, man. And it's good to see you too, Zacks. And I'm glad that you put my mind to rest with this body double, because I thought I was like going crazy.
no, you're not crazy. In fact, Gray, I'm gonna set you up one more time for this.
Uh-oh.
This is a different angle. It's almost even better. It's close to being better. Hold on.
Go for it. So Angry, by the way, I really appreciate the all the shares, the support and the likes and the chat, the comments as well. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot on YouTube and Twitter. Have you got it, Zaxx? Okay, here it is. Before you go, Angry, this is it. Here we go. Let's have a look at this.
There you go. There's before.
Look at those arms.
They're toothpick arms.
And here you go after.
Oh my! The definition. Look at the definition there.
The triceps and the shoulders. Before. It's not close.
Smooth, rounded shoulders she had before.
Yeah.
Very soft, very smooth. And look at that. She's got definition. Not quite as big as yours, Zaxx, but hey, whose are?
Her arms are pipe cleaners before.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Her arms look like mine when I got out of the hospital with the crutches, because I like gained all this tone from using crutches.
What's funny about the whole thing is that they didn't have to have her wear a tank top.
Okay, sure. They didn't.
You're very right. Yep, that's correct.
Not at all, but they did. So
mate, thanks again, Angry. You take care. You have a good rest of your Saturday.
Appreciate it. Thanks, chat, and you guys too. I'll see you.
Laters. Zaxx, it's just you and me. What should we do now?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I tried to get Copa in, but I think he's shy. He likes listening, doesn't he?
Yeah, he likes to watch.
My stream. He wants to go on my stream. Yeah, he likes to watch.
He does. He likes to watch. Why isn't Jana on here?
I know. Well, the link's gone to Copa, so I'm sure he can share it with her. But I think Jana's the same. She's like, I just want to listen.
Oh, I don't know.
She doesn't want a sausage party, because I'll put her in the middle.
Pitch the Observer to Gray now says, yeah. They They did. It's a remaster too, so it's actually it's a recent version of the game. It looks like the remaster looks pretty good. Rutger Hauer is a legend, and I think we should celebrate him by playing the Observer. And I think you should play it, Gray, on your channel too.
If I can, yeah. If I can get it on Steam, I'll have a look. You've got me intrigued by saying it's Rutger Hauer's last performance.
It's very much like a story. It's not as so much of a game. Really,
is it old, Zacks, or is it? Okay, got it. Sorry, 2017. Is that the one?
Yeah, but there's a remaster that's newer than that. That's
okay.
They've done a good job of upgrading the graphics of it.
Ooh.
But I guess it's probably the same game.
I like the cover. I like the look. Is it a bit cyberpunky?
Yeah, it is.
I'm just going to share a screen. Here we go. 1 second. There we go. So that's what we're talking about. The Observer video game with Rutger Hauer. As you say, it's been remastered since the 2017 version.
Yeah.
Graphics looking good there. Look at that.
It's very heavily stylized with the graphics and the lighting. It's it looks beautiful, the remaster, and they don't tend to remaster things that aren't, at least worth playing. So
yeah,
it's because it's a lot to put back into a game when they don't have to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for the recommendation. I wish I had more time. I would probably play games, but you know what it's like, Zacks. Time just like trying to get videos together on YouTube. How much time does it take?
It takes a lot of time. Yeah. It does. Live streams are better for that. You can just do this. Here we are.
Yeah. Catching up. It's like the old days, isn't it?
It is.
So, I don't want to keep you too long, by the way. If you want to bounce, we can wrap things up now. But if you want to talk something, I'm here. I'm here for you, Zacks. I'm always here for you.
Well, let's see what the chat wants, Gray.
It's a psychological horror thriller in a cyberpunk setting. Well, there you go. You just listed some of my favorite genres there. Thanks, Nos. He's always trying to get me to play the Blade Runner. I know it's a bit old now, Zacks, and they are bringing out a new one, but there's a classic kind of, is it a point and click Blade Runner game, which is supposed to be really good. It's got the music, it's got the look, the sound.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of that in playthroughs from people, the old one. I hope they do a new one, because it's pretty dark, actually. I mean, it's a dark movie and a dark themes, but the game itself is, there's some dark shit going on in there. From what I've saw of the game, and I think it would still be playable because that story is classic, and I believe it's set parallel to the movie, maybe something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Not that clued up about it. Where are we? Zaxx, Nosferatu is saying that I'd love to see Gray experience the world of BioShock on stream.
So let's get this, Nos, right now. So, Gray, what games have you played? What kind of games would you like to play? Do you play games at all on your own? Oh, Copa!
No, don't worry about it. I'm just watching. Go ahead.
Nice.
How you doing, man? Great to see you. Look at the beard.
What's up, dude?
It's coming
I like
on.
the beard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming in gray because, in honor of your stream, coming back.
Thank you. I'm the
You're
same. I bet you don't get orange or golden or copper bits in your beard, though, do you, like me? I get a kind of multicolored, Joseph Technicolor Dreamcoat going on.
Interesting.
Would you...
Copa, why have we got you here? Sorry, Zach. Can I get your take on One Piece, the first episode, even though you haven't seen it? What would you give it out of 10?
Oh, it is a 7 out of 10. Solid 7 out of 10. I think
Cool.
It kind of follows the anime quite
Nice.
loosely, but at the same time, it's a great adaptation, and it's not as bad as Cowboy Bebop because they learn from their mistakes. So right there, that's already a plus. And then on top of that, the fighting styles is really natural, and they seem to flow really nicely. And once again, I know Zaxx made this point, but it has cinematography, and you can't beat cinematography whatsoever. So solid 7 out of 10 so far.
I love cinematographies. Me too.
How can you beat it?
How
There's
can you make
multiple
a movie
angles
without-
used and everything. Cameras are there. It's
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They have a camera there, and then they move it around a lot.
That's
Oh,
right.
Classic.
Oh, and it has a lot of boats. I remember that part too.
There's boats everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't throw a rock without hitting a boat in this show
But-
so far.
But you don't need Gina Davis in it. That's for sure. That's
sure
one tall
don't.
bitch.
She's too tall. I agree.
Dude.
I hate tall women. No.
Yeah. The only time Gina Davis ever looked good was Long Kiss Goodnight. To be honest with you.
Is she a lesbian?
No, she was married to Rennie Harlan, the guy who directed
Oh,
both of those
Okay.
movies.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh, she almost made the Olympics as an archer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No
She's like an
respect for that.
accomplished archerist. Is that a word? She's an accomplished archerist. But yeah.
She's been waiting her whole life for that Robin Hood movie.
Oh, I know. And too
With
bad
the
it went to
Y?
that black girl in Canada.
Yes, it did go to the Black Girl in Canada.
Robin in the Hood. That's looking
Oh
good.
my
I'm excited
God.
for that, guys.
Are you,
What
Gray?
about you?
No one's gonna watch it except for to hate it, and that's all it's gonna be. I don't feel bad for them all. They set themselves up. They walked into this one, I would say.
Disparu and
Oof.
Az, they're looking forward to it, I'm sure.
They were already putting videos out on it. Like,
Yeah.
I
I can't
It
do
just
that,
looks
guys. I don't know.
strange.
I know we're kind of joking around here, but I can't hate watch and do that kind of thing because it just, for me, I know I'm kind of a bit ridiculous being so positive, but I want to talk about things that I like so much more than things that really piss me off. Is it just me?
No. I don't go into a movie thinking, oh, I'm going to hate this and I'm going to make content out of it. If it turns out that it's crap, I'm going to talk about it. It's like I clicked on The Flash the other day because, it's there on HBO and I'm feeding the kid.
Oh yeah.
So I started watching it because I'm like, well, how bad can it be? And it could be that bad. And I'm going to make a review on
really?
it. Yes, it's that bad. Dude, the CGI alone in this movie is so cartoonish that it just takes you right out of it.
It's worse than the One Piece CGI, and One Piece is meant to be cartoonish.
Yeah, that's what I
saw-
was
I saw the
saying.
first
When I was
half of it,
when I
Copa.
was not watching One Piece, I was like, this is way better than The Flash. So
It
But
takes
yeah,
you out of it straight away. Yeah, it's terrible. Batman, the way they've done his cape and stuff, it looks awful.
yeah, it's just awful.
Really weird.
I never liked Ben Affleck's interpretation of Batman. I just
Okay.
never got on board with it. I couldn't stand it. So already that's like a negative, and then he's in it a lot so far. Like I've only watched the first half an hour so far, but
I'm
yeah,
the same.
it's
I
just-
dropped out after half an hour. I couldn't stand Ezra Miller anyway. I can't stand the guy, not because of his real life antics, but I just don't like him as an actor. He's so annoying. That's just
I don't
just
either.
me.
No, and I confuse him with Elliot Page all the time now.
I could see
There's,
that.
there's two of him in this bloody movie. As well. Oh, Jesus.
It's like, oh, there's
What are
Ezra
you
Miller and
doing?
Elliot Page are both playing the Flash. So
He plays a decent psychopath villain.
yeah, that makes sense.
In we need to talk about Kevin, I think it was called.
Yeah,
He did that.
Oh, did he?
He fit that role beautifully. Like that was just him in real life. I don't think he was
I
acting.
bet he did.
Yeah.
Like a
But-
glove.
As a hero, I don't know how you get behind that guy. Well, I know there's a number of producers who probably got behind that guy, but
yeah.
I'm not going to. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, Copa, now
once-
I've got you here. I thought were you joking in the chat about Ahsoka? Are you watching it or?
Not yet.
okay.
I am going to,
Okay.
because I keep hearing a mixed bag of things. Like
Same.
a lot of
same
people that I respect, like Zacks or Roman. Now Roman has trash takes. We all know that, but he is saying that like he's not terribly hating on it.
No.
And I keep hearing that it looks really good, but the slides that Zaxx has provided and Roman has provided, I'm like, it doesn't look like Star Wars whatsoever. It looks too sterile and clean. Everything. Looks
Yeah,
clean.
I get you. I get you with that. The opening scene where they're all saying, "This is amazing." It's like the rebel ship. In the original trilogy, it's like it just looks off. The uniforms look too clean. It looks weird.
Yeah, the uniforms don't look like they're lived in. This is
No.
opposite of One Piece and what you were talking about with the
Oh,
clown character. None of the uniforms look lived in. The ships don't look lived in or used. And that was Lucas's whole aesthetic from the beginning, was what he called used future, and like everything had like
Exactly.
oil dripping off of it, and like rustic look to it. And I think that's a better look, anyways, than this sterile like Apple iPhone look that we're all just so used to in art in general. It's ugly. So I kind of want to give it a crack, but I think I'm just going to wait until the entire series is over so I can sit there and watch it, so I don't have to wait once a week for it. But I don't know. Maybe I'll catch up. I don't have an absurdly weird amount of time like Zacks does, where he watches like 15 episodes of something, plays a video game, and and then blindly reviews
It's
other shit.
very, very sus, Copa,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it? I
very
gotta say,
sus.
there's
Yeah.
either
Sus.
3 of him or what. I don't know what's going
I
on. He
think
can
he
mess
lives
about.
in
He
a
can manipulate
48
time.
Yeah, I think he lives
Maybe.
in like a 48-hour time zone. Like he just gets an extra.
In Canada,
day.
time's different up here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
The world spins differently up there.
I
knew
mean,
it, Zacks.
Ahsoka. It's not horrible. It's just not as good as it. Like Mandalorian season 1 and 2 were much better than this. Overall, they weren't. It wasn't perfect either. Like none of it's been perfect, but yeah, it's very clean looking. There's no tension whatsoever in the show, and like I guess we know where these characters are going to go, and it really, if you think about it too much, it takes you out of it. So you have to just kind of just sit there and drool a bit and consume, because like it's right after Return of the Jedi, so like, but you don't hear any mention about anything else that's happened. Like you don't hear about Luke, you don't hear about Leia, Han, nothing. It's like it didn't happen. These people who are all powerful and influential didn't have anything to do with that either. Like they could have helped, but they weren't there. So it's that parallel thing they've created where it really doesn't make too much sense if you try to layer it together. And so just don't do that, I guess. But the fights are fine, but then they also don't make sense if you think about them. Like Ahsoka fights a bunch of droids.
Think about it. Consume content.
Yeah, right. She fights a bunch of droids, and then like, as for some reason, the droids decide to self-destruct. But they tell her that, and then they give her like a running start, and
Enough time to get
and
away.
they all take a knee instead of chasing her. So then they blow up like just when she's out of range. Like none of them. They could have still been fighting. They were still capable of fighting, but they stopped, took a knee, and said, "We're going to self-destruct. No, run." It was like that. And this one she's fighting on the wing of the plane, but it's not moving, so they could just blow up the ship, even if she could deflect the one shot at her. But they only shot at her, and they dive bombed, strafed her directly, so she could hit them with their lightsabers. Like you're in space in a ship, you don't have to move. There's no strafing run required. You just float.
And that's the question I had was, how is she blocking this cannon fire with her lightsabers? Like, at what point did you ever see that? Like, the closest you ever got to that, I was thinking about it, was Return of the Jedi, when Luke was blocking the speeder bike from firing on him in the middle of the forest. But outside of that, like, I've never seen anything like that in Star Wars. And I'm watching this in a clip, and I'm like, this just feels like, let's just do, like, what if she was outside of the ship? Wouldn't that be cool? Like it was something like that going on in the writer's room.
What if she does a flip in space?
Right.
Over top of the ships that for some reason fly directly at her, when she only has weapons that fit in her hands. She can't do anything distance wise. So why would you swoop at her?
Why not just blow up the ship that she's standing on?
Right. No. And so like that stuff, but it looks fine. It just doesn't make any. It's just dumb. It's poorly put together action.
I keep hearing this and I look at it and I'm like, it doesn't look fine. So what
it
are you
doesn't look
saying
as bad as Kenobi. It doesn't look as bad as Kenobi. I guess that's the bar.
Because the stills that you've provided everybody.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I can still see that they're in the volume.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's super clean, but it's just not as bad as Kenobi was, because of the way they're not having as much crossing that distance, which I found really distracting in Kenobi with the volume.
Right. It didn't look like they were running on treadmills in place.
Right. Or that they would have to teleport people into that scene. Like you'd see them coming from a distance, and then they would all of a sudden just be there because they couldn't have them cross the boundary.
Do we have, and I haven't actually seen it, but with the volume, like all the screens turned off and everything, is there pictures of it? Like what is the size of the volume? Because to me, it only looks like it's like maybe 20 to 25 yards in diameter. Am I wrong and mistaken in that? That's what it looks like. Maybe even 50 yards. I'll give it 50 yards.
Yeah, I've got pictures of it. Yeah.
Okay.
And video of it actually too, without anything on.
Okay. Well, I guess when Greg gets back, we could look at that.
Yeah,
I'm still
There
here.
it is.
I'm going for it. I've just got to keep muted, guys. I've got some Mrs. Wakizashi action in the background.
Oh.
Word.
Yeah.
Oh, was
You
she
take care of Mrs. Wakazashi, Gray. Well, we're here. We'll take care of your channel for you.
Yeah.
It's all good. So what's a hot word we should use on Gray's
What is
stream
this,
right
by
now?
the way? This is called
Chestnut ryokan.
chestnut ryokan. Sorry, not ryokan. Ryokan's the Japanese inn. Chestnut ryokan. It's like a sweet, red sweet bean, Japanese traditional sweet with kuri, which is chestnut in the middle. It sounds awful, but it's very sweet.
Ooh.
Well, I gotta have
Sorry, guys,
Jana
I just
hand me something,
freaked
but
you out, haven't I?
I'm afraid she'll come in here and slap me.
It goes well with the bitter, like the matcha, the green tea. That's bitter and sweet.
Uh-huh.
You get the combination, the wabi sabi, baby.
There you
Man,
go.
the Japanese are big into that, aren't they?
Wow.
Opposite tastes going together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There we go, Zacks. Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, so it's about 50 yards across.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
that's what it looks like. Yeah. And so that's why everything's a circle.
Right.
This is what it is. So they make circles of everything, which is why so this is that big scene. That's why they have to stand that distance apart.
This was so bad.
Yeah, because that's how big it is. Yeah. So that's that made them change story decisions because of the distance they could have them be apart. Because they have to be close enough that they're in the same space if they're going to be in the same shot. So they can't it just looks ridiculous in this. Like why? Because why was he controlling the fire like that? Like why would he not just put it out again or whatever? And it's just that's why. It's 'cause it looks
Mrs.
like that.
Mrs. Catania just came in and handed me this. It's a copper mug with a Nature Valley biscuit. So let your wife know, Gray, that here in America we're eating almond butter Nature Valley biscuits here.
Mmm.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Is it
Well,
biscuits
hold on.
and gravy biscuit?
You guys
No.
sponsored?
I should. You know what? It should be right.
It's a
Yeah.
good call, Zacks. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's get it
So
out
that's
there.
what it. So I think this one that they're using this year, this studio is a bit bigger. They were building a bigger one. This one's in California. They filmed Kenobi in, and it is what it looks like there. And you can see there's no props. There's almost no physical props.
Right,
being used.
because it can't really. Well, with the Mandalorian, they did a decent job with putting props and stuff in there to kind of cover it all
They
up.
did.
But
Yeah.
they don't seem to
But-
do that anymore.
It can work at times. It can look good sometimes, but yeah, when you're aware of it, Zacks, when you realise it's like you can't unsee it, can you? It's like, oh wait a minute.
You have to
Yeah.
tailor it for that. Like Favreau,
Yeah.
he was one of the people who pushed that technology, so he knew how to use it in a way that it didn't bother you. And so much of Mandalorian is, well, he takes his time getting places. He's not running anywhere, and that works in the volume. And he took the time to bring in extra props, so he had physical things to work with. But I guess they just got fucking lazier or whatever, and they had nothing in that space, so it looks ridiculous. And that's why he's chasing. No one can catch Leia, even though she's at most arm's reach away. But you have to act like you can't catch her because, well, you can't actually have her run away from you because it's not
She's
that
just
big.
constantly running in a circle.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And it's like the Three Stooges. Yeah,
It's so bad. The Benny Hill music in the background, Zacks, like you did with Wheel of Time season
Yeah.
1, that clip.
it makes your character look ridiculous. Obi-Wan can't catch this little girl, even though she's right there. So it's got to go. Whoop.
Well, I mean, it's the sign of the times where we just use CGI to as a crutch instead of as a tool. And since they built this thing, and obviously it's a multi-million-dollar project to build this stage, they're going to use it. The only thing is that it's not going to pay itself off because they keep losing viewers and subscribers. Like nobody's running to Disney Plus to catch the latest episode of Ahsoka. Like it barely can pull out numbers. It was so funny because I saw the other day that the Drinker put out a review for Ahsoka, episode 1.
Yeah.
And then they put a couple days later, they showed the first 2 episodes only got 1.3 million views.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then Drinker put out a tweet that said, "Dude, my review of this is going to get more views than the actual show itself." And it's just dude, that's
It's true.
true. It's fucking true. Like, no one's clamoring, no one's running out there to get these subscriptions, and they're going to keep bleeding subscribers when all these free subscribe promotions run out. Like, I think it was Verizon that was putting it out here in the States. Like, if you sign up with Verizon, you got like a free 2-year subscription to Disney Plus. And those subscriber numbers are just going to start dwindling. No one wants this shit.
Angry saying, he subscribed recently just to watch the show. There we go. He's the rare case.
Wow.
I grew
Those
up on
numbers have to
Clone
be-
Wars, so
I like how he left
Yeah.
the show to say that too, so he could leave at any time.
Angry! Come back.
that's
No, but
funny.
yeah, the numbers were weird. Like you said, they were shouting out like 1.2, 1.3 millions to begin with. Then it suddenly jumped to 14 or something. 14 million.
Did it?
Was that over the week, or I'm not even sure the number where they got those from. Was
Maybe
that
they're combining
worldwide?
all the episode numbers together, but
Yeah,
that would
I think it was American first. America, then they went worldwide with the supposedly 14 million views, but that could mean anything, couldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, how long is a view?
right. That's another good question. I didn't even think of that.
That's
Is
what
it
Netflix does.
Is it just a click? Yeah, is it just a click? Just to see how it's going?
Yeah,
Wow.
30 seconds.
AC's coming at you. I mean, yeah, people like it. People like Ahsoka, and she could be probably a great character, but she just is in this. It's not making her. This is not showing her best side, really.
Yeah, you know what, AC? When I meet you, I'm going to tackle you so gently, you're going to giggle to death. That's how it's going to go.
I can't wait.
Copa,
to see that.
how's your Shiko Dachi? How's it going?
I did so. No joke, and Janet could attest to this in the chat. I did Shiko yesterday for my daughter at her doctor's visit. So to make her laugh, I did some Shiko in front of her, and she was giggling. So I don't think I was doing it right, but I think I was
That's
also doing it
cool.
right because she was giggling. Because so
That's
I was keeping her happy because 15 minutes from that period of time, she was going to get a shot for her vaccines. So
Oh,
good dad.
yeah,
That's good dadding.
and then she
Good
hated us
Zacks.
for the rest of the night
Oh yeah.
for letting that happen to her.
Oh, guys, by the way, true story. Well, speaking of Shiko, and this is 100% true. I brought it in. I used it in one of my kindergarten classes. I got the class. There was about 20 kids.
Did you really?
I got us all doing Shiko. Yeah, Shiko Dachi. Like,
nice.
like, okay, let's counting 1 to 10. Okay, 1. Anyway, next day I was like, Jesus, my legs are really aching today. I was like, that was it. That was the Shiko. I only did 10, but I was doing it really slowly and trying to hold the position. Oh god, that was cool.
Maybe if you
no.
skip the squat in between, but
The squat's
Save your
crucial,
legs.
Copa. You need
They
that
are, I
squat. And you need to
know.
try and hold it if you can, and get your back straight if you can.
I have probably
Anyway.
like the shittiest Shiko form, but I do it just because it's fun. And because I need to beat Nas in the numbers. And he's saying that I have to go through him to get to AC, but I'm just going to tickle Nas to death. I'll be a little tickle monster for him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Read my previous comment. Okay.
Guys, I've got some
AC.
thunder in the background.
AC's
Maybe
calling
that's-
shots in the chat. He's not on the show. What the fuck?
AC, he can't resist. You see, he's supposed to be studying. Get back to your books. Get back to your benkyo. He's supposed to be doing some Japanese, like some kanji benkyo. But
What's
see
he
what
studying?
happens.
What's that word you said?
Kanji, the Japanese kanji, you know, the Chinese characters,
You're making
reading
this
and
up.
writing. I'm not. I can speak, I can listen, but I can't read or write Japanese. It's terrible, Zacks and Copa. You got to learn 3 different forms. You got to learn hiragana, you got to learn katakana, and then kanji, which is the pictogram, Chinese characters.
Gray,
There's like
you know what?
10,000 of those.
I disagree. They have to learn English. Learn fucking English.
Right.
One language.
That's it.
You're
That's
good.
my role over here.
Yes. Yeah. Wankers.
Oh, you wanker. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I love it. You got to do
Let's
it in
do it
English
on
accent,
the
mate. Oh, you
stream.
wanker.
Ugh, my
So,
God.
guys, I don't want to keep too late. I know it's late. Should we wrap things up? Are you good? Are you okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that was enough Ashoka talk for
Yo,
Nas. I think-
Ashoka. Do you know in Japanese? Ahsoka.
Oh,
Ahsoka
Ahsoka.
means like, oh, really? I see. Ahsoka. Seriously.
I wish it wasn't Ray Stevens' last thing. I wish it was.
I
Well, I wish he
know.
was still alive. First of all, but
Yeah, I know.
I do
he's
have
so
to
fucking
say,
good.
I do have to say, Girth Vader in that show, Ray Stevenson,
Oh yeah.
looks pretty legit.
Hey, come on, Copa. He's enjoyed his life. Come on, you can tell. It shows it on by his girth.
He's gonna get murdered by his Padawan or whatever she is to him.
Oh Jesus, he is
For sure.
You know it.
It's gonna happen. So it's
Oh,
just the ladies at the end.
Oh yeah, Kurt Cobain's wife. What's her name?
Yes. Yeah, Courtney Love. Yeah.
Courtney Love.
Yeah.
Is she
Don't
in
trust
it?
Courtney Love.
Serious?
No, she looks like Courtney Love.
Okay, gotcha.
She looks like she's in the '90s grunge scene for sure.
Yeah, she looks like a Japanese sex doll, but like what you guys out there think is like a white girl. That's what she looks like.
Which you guys
Let me
think is
know
a white
about
girl?
if you need any Copa, because I can put you in contact with people.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry. Laughing my ass off. Wanker, says Jada. Yeah, there we go.
Wank,
Okay,
wank.
so before we finish, Zacks, I know you've got a live stream tomorrow, my time. It's always Sunday, my time, so it's Saturday night for you, isn't it? What have you got coming up?
I don't know where we're at tomorrow night. Actually, I don't know whose channel that's going to be on. So
Okay.
I don't know, because AJ's AJ, so who knows where AJ's going to be, what he's going to do. But yeah, somewhere tomorrow night, Circle of Jerks, and then Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central, we've got Tom Conko coming back. He's launching his new Indiegogo for his film he's putting together called Island on the Stars. You talked about it last time. It's sci-fi. He's working with no, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was in Road Warrior, and he was in Commando. He's the villain. What's it? Vernon Wells. Vernon Wells is working with him on it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wait, Tom
they're working
Conko's
on that
coming back
project.
for What's Good?
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah.
So, what's going on with the SAG-AFTRA strike? Because I know he couldn't do it before because of that, right?
I think that he couldn't do it before because of that, but I think he also needs funding now. So I think it's one of those things where like
So, fuck you. Fuck
he
you.
kind of means it, but like doesn't really mean it 100%. Maybe I don't know. But he couldn't do it before because of the SAG actor. But then I guess they probably move on this or it's fucked because they're working with the Australian like film board or whatever to help fund some of it. It's all being filmed there, so they're probably getting pushed on that end to like either do this or don't. It's a government system, so
Yeah, they won like the lottery. Yeah.
So they're doing that, but this is great. This is who we're talking about. If you want to share it, this is that. Look at that acting.
Come on.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
She's a Japanese sex doll, right?
Courtney Love, a younger version though. Is that
Right.
what you mean?
Better looking.
Yes. Better.
But a better looking version too.
Yeah,
But
Sorry,
she's still got
Courtney, I know
the.
you're watching.
She's got the heroin eyes still.
she does. Has the heroin eyes and the bangs.
Mm-hmm.
The bangs that she cut herself. You could tell.
You can tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the weed
There you
wax.
go.
She's got a good scowl on her. I know that scowling. She was scowling a lot in the first episode. I do remember that.
Look at the acting.
It's amazing, Zach.
Yeah, you can see. You know what? She'd make a good replacement for Daryl Hannah in Blade Runner. You could do that right now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I never
Anyways.
thought Daryl Hannah was good looking. Hot
No?
take. No.
Ooh.
No. Never understood it. Never understood
too-
why people were going crazy about Daryl Hannah.
She's too tall.
Oh, absolutely. Look,
Yeah.
okay. Short girls, they're stacked in the right places. Fight me.
No, I'm not going to argue with that.
Thank you. We don't have to fight tonight.
No. So Tom's coming back on Wednesday, and talk about his sci-fi project he's putting together as we speak, and so that's going to be Wednesday at 9. Come watch.
Wow, no way. What a
Yeah.
shame. Sorry, I just got distracted by something. Mark Miller, the writer, the comic book writer, he retweeted this stream.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Really?
What a shame it only got like one extra viewer. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.
Is he here?
No, he's not. I wish. Yeah, it's cool. Um,
I'm watching his show. I have one episode left of that the Chosen.
oh yeah.
the
Oh, did you
Chosen
stick
one.
with it?
Yeah,
What do you reckon?
I know where it's turning, and I like where it's going. It just took a long time to
Like,
get
let's go.
there.
It did take a
Yeah.
long time to get there, but I
Is it good?
enjoyed it.
Is
The
it worth
Chosen
watching?
one.
Is it down on watching?
Gray, what do you think? I haven't.
The comic's better. The book's better, unfortunately, but it was pretty decent. It started off really well. The first episode was like, this is really good. What's going on? But it kind of went a bit YA teen drama through the middle. But it's got a great final episode, though. It's one of those.
Great. You got
Good
me
start,
back into
good
comic
finish.
books, by the way, with your suggestion.
Are you
of
serious?
Conan. Yeah. So like,
Conan is amazing.
Nice.
Copa.
oh, dude. So I read issue 1. I haven't got to issue 2 yet. I know it just came out. Because I was busy what did I read? I read Conan, and then I turned around and read Old Man Jack, the sequel to Big Trouble in Little China. It was in comic book form, and it was written by John Carpenter himself and somebody else, and it is awful. Do not read that comic book series.
No, really?
Oh, dude. Oh my god. So it feels like they replaced Jack Burton with Ash from The Evil Dead.
Okay.
Like he's that kind of like moron hero, which that wasn't Jack Burton. Jack Burton was more John Wayne. And so when they replaced his character in the way they did, it's awful. It's an awful story. But I stuck through it, all 12 issues. So I read that. God.
Wow.
And now I'm going to get back into Fire and Ice because you made me realize that Fire and Ice came out with a comic book series. So
Yeah.
and I love the movie.
I'm looking forward to issue 2. I'm not sure when that's coming out. It might be delayed. I'm not sure. But yeah. It wasn't bad, was it? It was a prologue.
And I'm reading. I forget his name is slipping me. The guy who did 300.
Frank Miller.
I'm reading Frank Miller's RoboCop last night because I didn't even know he did a RoboCop.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
He
so
directed,
apparently,
which one was it? Was it 2 or 3?
he wrote the scripts to 2 or 3, but he also wrote a script that happens between 1 and 2 that never got made.
Way.
Yeah, it never got made. It was supposed to be a comic book, and then one of his friends was I can't remember the story because I kind of read up on it last night. But basically, they took his script of what happened between 1 and 2, and they made it into a comic. He drew the covers, but he didn't help write the story. He didn't help write the story at all, except for what they pulled from the script. And it's decent so far. I'm only like halfway through issue number 1, but it's good.
Cool.
But I need to get back into Conan because, dude, your review of Conan made me get back into Conan, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm all about this one.
I appreciate that.
It's just, yeah, dude. Thank you for it.
Gray makes everything better.
He really does. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take Gray's suggestion on the Sanctuary show and see how awesome it really is. And then Sanctuary being as awesome as it was, I was like, okay, Gray knows what he's talking about. So I'm just going to read whatever Gray suggests.
No, it's a rare one because the Japanese shows, I mean, it's to be honest, they're not very good, a lot of them. It's hard to find something really good, but that does stand out recently. And
what about
me and Nozo we were talking about Midnight Diner, but that's more, it's a very different thing. It's a slice of life, sentimental thing, but it is actually pretty funny. It's got
what about
a lot of
that
heart.
boxing show? It's not, is it Alice in Borderland?
I think.
No.
Yeah,
That's not
it's like a weird, what do you call
there's
it? Like
there's another
cube
Japanese
style.
boxing one too. Alice in Borderland's
Korean
cube
one.
style.
There's a Korean boxing one because I made that mistake. I was like, oh, this looks good. Is it Japanese? Like, oh, it's Korean. Which again, nothing wrong with that, but
Right.
I didn't start it, so I don't know if it's
Koreans,
good.
ew.
Ooh, Koreans, yeah. The Japanese Koreans, they hate each other. By the way.
Oh, I know.
No, they're all the same. Hollywood says you're all
the
all
Chinese
the same.
though.
All the same. There's no history there
Jesus.
whatsoever.
No.
None. Nothing to see here.
So
You guys are in a box.
Change subject quickly to save Wakizashi's stream. Have you got anything you want to shout out? You're working on a review of.
I'm working on a review of The Flash. I got to finish it tomorrow.
That's
and then
it. That's
draw
it.
up the script. And then the Yo Show on Sunday, we're going to have Jay from Desolate Studios on. And he is bringing your favorite movie, which is Rocky, the first one. So, yeah.
Oh my God, I love that movie as well.
Oh my God, I love it too. Like, I don't understand people who like Lady B doesn't like it because Rocky gets a little rapey in the middle with Adrian. But
A little.
Yeah, a little, but
she does
not
want
really.
it. Like, he's not wrong.
Right. He, like, it wasn't like he forced himself on
Does he
her.
pull a Harrison Ford on a Sean Young in Blade Runner? It's not that bad, is it?
Well, he kind of like
rapey.
traps her in a corner and like takes off her glasses, but she shouldn't have been dressed like that to begin with.
That's right. And
Yeah.
she's like, I want to go home. And he's like, no.
No, Adrian.
yeah.
You ain't going nowhere.
You're going nowhere.
Hey yo, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowheres. So
Yep.
so we're going to be talking Rocky extensively because it's one of my favorite movies of all time classic. And then yeah, I'll be on What's Good with Zacks here, and we're gonna be talking to Tom Conkle. So come hang out.
Yeah.
Nice one. I appreciate you jumping in, mate. I know it was, as usual, it's last minute for me, isn't it? But yeah, thanks a lot. It's good. Good to get your take on One Piece. I'm glad you're enjoying it, even though you haven't seen it yet. It's good because it's good. It's got cinematography, Copa. Don't forget.
Oh, I know, but here's the thing: is like I keep telling Zaxx to do this shit, and he doesn't. Which is fucking make these blind reviews for your channel. They're going to take off because no one's going to really pay attention to whether you really watch the movie or show or not. Just fucking go with it. Like even tonight's review of One Piece with Gina Davis.
Yeah.
He might get 1 or 2 people in the comments, but that's just going to drive up his channel traffic. Like Gina Davis wasn't in One Piece. What the fuck are you talking about? And we're like, well, thanks for helping me with the algorithm at least.
That's true. Yeah, and I should say Hindi or Hindu instead of Hindi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They like that.
Or, my favorite part was with Triple R, like reviewing Triple R and saying no man can actually pick up a motorcycle and do that.
Oh,
that pisses the Indians off faster than
really?
anything else. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because they'll sit there and defend it like, oh, those motorcycles were only 50 pounds and the English
50 pounds.
Yeah, no joke. And then they would say like the English would pick him up and carry him under their arms, and I'm like, well, there's no way that like that motorcycle could travel that fast because the engine is shit. If they could pick it up and carry it under their arm, they just, dude, like anything. If you talk any kind of like, hey, Triple R has this kind of nonsense going on, the Indians will defend it. It's great stuff. They get very riled up. Like, there's no way you could pick up a cheetah and throw it 50 yards at somebody. They go, oh no. There's accounts of this happening before, buddy. Like,
I think that what you meant to say was there's no Indian men who could pick up a motorcycle.
Oh yeah,
right?
But the women though.
I mean, you said the English can't, right? So yeah, we get that. I believe that. But like these guys,
Zaxx's blind reviews of legendaries as AC, and Nosferatu
really
saying
are.
Zaxx just declared war on his Indian fan base. Don't worry, Nos, they're not watching this stream on my channel, so you can make up the words there.
Nos is out there sharing it around already.
Yeah.
He's clipped it. Thanks,
but yeah,
Nos. Appreciate your support.
Yeah, Zaxx can make a killing, and it doesn't take that long to make these blind reviews. It really doesn't.
It's true. No, they're easy.
Very easy.
Nothing's easy on YouTube when you're 50 years old.
Well, that's true.
There we go. Okay, guys, I'll just drop a quick closer and then we'll wrap things up. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched this far and you came for a One Piece review, sorry about that, but it is in the first part of the show. Thank you very much, and hope to see you in a future video. This has been Gray, Angry Canadian, Zacks, and CopaExMachina. I want to call you Copa Cantania, but anyway, there we go.
Well, go for it.
Madness.
I wanted to...
Oh, go on.
Oh.
Copa, we're back. It's you.
Oh, it's me. Yeah, I just want to make my name less white. So people can...
I tell you what, the worst thing you can do on YouTube is put an apostrophe in your channel name.
Yeah.